media and influencer trends.
And I'm Shop All Day contributor Jen Fallick, and I love finding the best versions of everyday items and better basics. This is Shop All Day Holiday Lookbook. Hi, I'm Chassie Post, and we are in celebration mode here at Shop All Day. From style to decor, we're here to help with all your party plans this season. Whether you're celebrating Thanksgiving, Hanukkah, or Christmas, we got a shimmering dress that'll keep you sparkling all night long to a not-so-ugly holiday sweater. And remember, see that QR code at the bottom of your screen? You can use your camera on your smartphone to scan it for instant access to the products on the show today. So let's get the party started. Who's ready to get festive? Now, when the invitation calls for fancy fun, then bring on the sparkle with this fabulous shimmering dress that's designed to celebrate the season and beyond. Perfect for New Year's Eve, a wedding, or any festive party, this ruche sequin t-shirt dress from Express is a showstopper. And you have seen that sparkle and shine trend pretty much all over the runways. And I think this is a really wearable way to do the trend. It's a wonderful t-shirt sort of blousy silhouette top and a fabulous little ruched skirt. Because of the ease of the silhouette, it's the perfect gateway to the glitter. Now, another thing I love about it is it looks really expensive. So sometimes these sequin dresses, you just get a little smattering of sequins. This is full on sequins and at a really fantastic price. It also comes in black. And here's another thing I like about this dress. Yes, you can wear it as it is, with a little mini skirt, but if you don't really do minis, this is also the perfect length to wear as a tunic. So I'm thinking, how cool would this dress look with a black faux leather legging or even a faded skinny jean? So there are lots of ways to do it. Next, another favorite festive style solution for any occasion. Nothing elevates like a little shimmer, and these metallic middies will not only lift your spirits, but also anything you pair it with. This skirt is going to be the skirt you're going to want to invest in this holiday season. And check it out. I mean, it doesn't get more festive than that. These pleated midi skirts set with the metallic flare are my go-to, not just for the holiday season. I love them every day because they're so easy to wear. They really do add festive flair and a little glamour and a little va-va-voom to anything you pair it with. So you can wear it with a sweater, you can wear it with a little dressed up top, but I also love wearing these skirts with a t-shirt, just running around town. You've got your sneakers on, right? A tee, you run inside. If you gotta make a quick change to go to that holiday party, throw on a pair of heels. This skirt is festive enough to carry off the t-shirt. So this wonderful gold metallic skirt is from Lulu's, but a lot of brands are getting in on the trend. Here's another way to do it. A wonderful metallic satin. This one's so easy to wear. It's got the high waist and a gentle sloping silhouette. It's really flattering on most body types. And the pleats. The pleats are a huge trend and actually serve to make this skirt feel really special. So when in doubt, grab a little midi with a metallic flare and you're good to go anywhere this holiday season. So holidays now seem synonymous with the ugly holiday sweater, and they may have given the idea of festive knits a bad name, but we're about to change that notion with a sweater so cute that you're gonna wanna wear it all winter long. And guess what? You can. This is so soft. It's called the Soft Tensile Sweater with shoulder detail, and it is from Scoop for Walmart. This sweater is such a perfect example of that elevated take on the festive sweater because it's got this gorgeous tensile thread running throughout, which is subtle, sophisticated, a little bit of sparkle. It's also got that shoulder detail. So this is a pleated shoulder detail. And as you've heard me say a million times, it's all about the shoulder and the sleeves this holiday season. Now, this sweater comes in 3 great colors. Here we've got the black with the graphite tinsel, and then we've also got a wonderful gray with the silver tinsel, and again, versatility. We love that here. You can wear this little sweater with a pair of jeans or even your leggings, but also you can dress it up easily with one of your midi skirts, or you can wear it with a great pair of black pants or even faux black leather pants. This would be smashing and so affordable. So next up, we have one of my favorite hair accessories, the top knot headband. And actually, I take that back. We have 12 of my favorite hair accessories. And again, this is a set that comes with 12 of these gorgeous top knot headbands. They are satin, they are really high quality. I actually own this set. And I am telling you, this is such an incredible deal because you get 12 of these really high quality headbands for under the price of what you would pay for just one headband. And these satin colors, they're so rich and they go with absolutely everything in your closet. Say for a holiday party, I would put one of these on, wear a great pair of statement earrings, and that's such a really festive look. But when I'm having a bad hair day, I grab one of these and this really does the trick. Now, another thing that's so great about these is they're one size fits all. So you can share these with the other gals in your family. And here's a little tip. It's a set of 12, right? So you can break this set up and also give them as gifts to your favorite fashionistas. So next up, I am a big fan of accessories, and they're an affordable way to experiment with trends and can instantly update last year's wardrobe just in time for the holidays. And I cannot wait to tell you about one of my favorite finds in a long time, this little quilted crossbody bag. So this little bag has 3 of the biggest bag trends that we're seeing this season in one. So first of all, the mini size. Besides being adorable, it's a huge trend. It's a real throwback to the 90s. Also, this quilting. So we've seen quilting everywhere, not just clothing, but also in accessories. And what's so great about this little bag is it also sort of makes me think of a very fancy, high-end designer quilted bag, but just a miniature version. And thirdly, chains. Also, this bag is so versatile. We've been talking a lot about versatility, and I think it's so important in the items that we invest in. So with this bag, you can wear it a number of different ways. First of all, for a dressier look, you can take this gorgeous chain and you can wear it as a shoulder bag. But if you want to make it even dressier, check out what you can do. You can knot this little chain, and then suddenly it becomes a little handbag. Isn't that adorable? Also, you can wear this every day as a crossbody. It's big enough to fit your phone and all your essentials. And it's vegan leather, so you don't have to worry about it getting messed up. You can clean it with a little bit of water, and it comes in 14 really, really great colors. And the price, it's so affordable. This makes a great gift as well. You know what gets me so excited every holiday season? The new holiday makeup palettes. And this is the mini Holiday Vibes Blockbuster makeup palette from Sephora, and it is well worth the wait. This is the mini version of a much bigger Holiday Vibes Blockbuster palette. It's portable, so I can take it with me wherever I go this holiday season, and this is a lot of beauty for the price. You get 30 eyeshadows from matte to shimmer, even glitter. You get 6 lip glosses. You also get 3 powders. You've got a bronzer, you've got a blush, you've got a highlighter, and it also comes with 2 little makeup brushes. So what I think is so fun about a palette is it really allows you to experiment with all the new makeup trends. And I might not invest in the hottest new green eyeshadow just on my own, but if it's in a palette, I'm gonna try it. So I just love a palette. It's so much fun to play. And I don't have to tell you what a great gift this makes for the beauty lover. They will be so thrilled. Lastly, let's talk must-have holiday manis. It's called the Mani Me, and you can do this right at home. And whenever I hear the word custom, I think, oh, it's expensive, right? Not the case with this. It's actually less expensive than most in-salon manicures, and it takes far less time, 5 to 7 minutes. So let me tell you how it works. You go to their website and you scan a QR code, and it'll ask you to do your custom nail fitting. And the custom nail fitting is so easy. It's just taking 5 photographs of your fingernails. They also make pedicures too. So if you're doing a pedicure, they'll ask you to take 4 photos of your toenails. Then it instantly uploads, and you can choose from so many cool colors and patterns. And then in 4 to 7 days, you'll get something that looks like this. And this is your custom stick-on manicure. It's so easy to wear. All you do is you stick them on, then you take a file or scissors and you can trim the excess or file down the excess. And the brand says that these last for 14 days. And to take them off, so easy, you just peel them off. And the brand says that these are made to be non-damaging. So let's run through all the products one more time. We've got the Express ruched sequin t-shirt sheath dress, the elastic midi skirt, the gold metallic skirt from Lulu's, the Scoop women's sweater, the 12-piece top knot headband, the Quilted Crossbody Bag, the Sephora Mini Holiday Vibes Blockbuster makeup palette, and the Marinade at-home stick-on manicure. That's it for Style Finder. Up next, Mako and Lovu is talking to style expert Jasmine Snow about her must-have holiday picks, and they are fun. From dotted tights to a headband that will top off any holiday ensemble. And later, we have infused ice cubes that will have you add cheer to your cocktails. So don't go away.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
News is more than a headline. It informs, it inspires, and it still matters. To cover it, you have to be in it. And that's what we're gonna do. Every night, we take you to the front lines of the story, where it's actually happening, with NBC News journalists on the ground from all over the world. We cover what you need to know and bring your newsfeed to life. In primetime and streaming live, it's your news playlist every night.
Top Story with Tom Llamas, weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today.
Let's go! International Day of the Girl.
The strength and courage of these women is remarkable.
What's your message to girls who want to make a difference?
Believe in yourself. You can make it happen.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today.
Let's go!
We're going to kick off the Pink Power and Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
What's the best thing about being this age?
You have nothing to prove, because you already proved it.
What does it feel like to be in a city that you love so much?
I am humbly proud that I stuck up for my town.
We all have the honor of helping reopen the doors.
Broadway is back!
Is it easier to pass a bipartisan bill right now than it is to pass a Democrats-only bill? This supply chain issue has been a problem for months. Do you concur that this is going to get worse before it gets better? Are you concerned about the direction of your party? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today.
Let's go!
You think you'll run for office one of these days?
I'm not saying no to anything.
Wow.
Welcome to Football Fright in America.
That was amazing.
News is more than a headline. It informs, it inspires, and it still matters. To cover it, you have to be in it. And that's what we're gonna do. Every night, we take you to the front lines of the story, where it's actually happening, with NBC News journalists on the ground from all over the world. We cover what you need to know and bring your newsfeed to life. In primetime and streaming live, it's your news playlist every night.
Top Story with Tom Llamas, weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now.
Hi, welcome back. I'm Mako and Lovu, and this is Influencer Trends, where I'll be talking to industry insiders, and they'll share their favorite products and the must-have items to shop for right now. And don't forget the QR code at the bottom of your screen. Use the camera on your smartphone and scan it to shop these products. Style expert Jasmine Snow knows the right accessory can make an outfit. That's why I'm so excited to talk to her today about her picks for this season that'll instantly add a little bit of sparkle to your holiday look. Hi, Jasmine. So good to have you join us today.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Oh, totally our pleasure. We're all about the holidays right now, and I have to ask you, what can the right accessory do for your outfit?
Oh, the right accessory can do everything for your outfit. I mean, at the end of the day, you wear a t-shirt and jeans, and you have that right accessory, it's gonna elevate your outfit in a second.
That's so true. Now, how do you know, though, what accessories you should spend your money on?
It really depends on, what it is that you love, what you wear the most. I suggest jewelry. They're instant outfit makers, and you want to wear it over and over and over again. Also, even if you're spending a little less money, you don't have to go crazy, but you still want it to be good quality, even if it is affordable.
That's a really, really good tip. Okay, let's talk more about accessories, and of course, we're right around the holidays now. What's a good fashion tip or fashion trend that's in right now that maybe it wasn't in a few years ago?
Okay, so what I am loving right now is earring stacks, because you can go crazy with it. You could go like major statement, or you could do a ton of little huggies all the way up your ear. It's making me want to get more holes pierced in my ears. I feel like I'm running out of room. The options are endless. It's kind of choose your own adventure.
I've been a little afraid of getting like the extra set, so I'm definitely going for the ones that you can clip on. So that's a really good tip.
It's actually back. All of the ear cuffs, I actually have them in right now. They're so easy. You don't need another piercing, but it just adds to your stack. Quick, simple, and you're done.
Good to know I'm on trend. I feel good about myself. But you know what else I feel good about? The items that you brought, these fun items, which by the way are so well priced. I appreciate that. And let's start with what I have right behind me, this faux leather skirt. Jasmine, I'm so into it. Tell me about it.
Oh my gosh, I'm so into it too. I love a leather skirt. Leather for me is always a neutral. I love a leather jacket. I think it's the perfect way to elevate any kind of a holiday outfit because it's a little shine, right? A little sparkle-ish, but you're not going crazy, right? So it's just elevating. It's a little different from a normal skirt. A little bit of texture. You can pair it with a cozy sweater, a t-shirt if you wanted to, or you can get really glam and do a going out outfit and really dress it up. I love it. I think it's a staple in everyone's closet and something that is going to take you from season to season to season.
That's such a good point. I've got my skirt, now these tights. I'm so excited the tights are making a comeback. I am so into these.
I'm so into tights too, and I love it because for so long we've been wearing the opaque black solid tights, and it's great because it's a huge trend right now, so you can have a little bit of fun with it, and everyone has a little black dress in your closet, whether it's brand new for the season or you've had it for years and it's your go-to. So it's a really fun way to mix it up and make it look new again. If you're gonna do a pattern, which I love, the H&M have like this little Swiss dot pattern. I absolutely love it because it's just enough and it's not overkill, but it's all still in that black color and it's not crazy. And if you want to go a little bit more statement, you can do a color like a burgundy, but it's perfect with a little black dress for the holidays.
That's so true. So chic and so stylish. And so chic and so stylish are these headbands as well. I am obsessed with these. They are just so glamorous and so stunning. Tell me about them.
It's Lulu's and it's obviously super affordable, but I love it because I'm always just throwing my hair up into like a messy bun. Even when I go out, it's just, sometimes it's just easier and it does look chic when you go out, especially for a fun holiday party. But this, you throw this on with a messy bun, whether it's during the day, with jeans and a t-shirt, or if you're going out at night, especially if you have a high neck shirt on like me, I always love to maybe do a little updo, but it is instant glam. I mean, you really can see, it's like Kira filter in real life.
It is, but I love that you can dress this up, right? But even if you're lounging at home with sweats, you can throw this on just for a little bit of that holiday glam. So if you're doing this headband, which is so glamorous and stylish, I feel like you should go with maybe subtle earrings, right? I love this pair from Bobble Bar.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking when I saw this headband and I had the earrings. I was like, oh, this is the perfect combo. So you have a headband, right? And you want to keep within the sparkle for holiday. But going back to what we were talking about, these earring stacks, it's the perfect little huggy. It's actually great because you can kind of use that as sort of your earring stack neutral, your place to start. And then if you want to mix it with a statement earring or a statement hair accessory, it works perfect. They're not going to compete together.
They look so stylish, and I like that you can even sleep in these, which by the way, around the holidays, I'm so busy and crazed. You can sleep in these and these are great
I never
quality.
Take my earrings out. It's the, yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Same thing. Okay, the last item that you have for us, which by the way, blew my mind. I didn't even know, Jasmine, that this was a thing. You have these purse replacements.
It is my new favorite thing.
I'm just so impressed that you have like these bags and you want to switch them out and you have the replacement chain. So I love these.
I have to be completely honest. This big chunky chain that has been all the rage right now for the past season and a half, everyone has had these bags. And I myself have been like, oh, I need to get that designer bag. And then all of a sudden, after a little while, I was like, I'm not sure if I'm that into it. Do I want to splurge on it? But then I found these bag chains. They're so affordable. And I can clip this on to any basic bag. And in a second, it is instantly like the look that I'm going for.
What a clever idea.
And it's a great way if you want to like test drive a trend and see if it's something that you like. And then maybe you do want to splurge on it. Or if you're someone like me and you carry it around and then you're like, okay, I got my fill. Let's on to the next for the next season. But Amazon has this really affordable chain for any bag that you can put on. And the best part about it, it's a two-for. I love a 2-for-1.
Oh, look at that pearl.
Oh. So for a little top handle situation, how amazing.
How amazing, how thoughtful. I'm thinking about this if you have like a daughter, you're shopping for a niece, you want to get them something that's really nice that they can actually use. This is so genius.
Yes. You don't have to do a full wardrobe overhaul if you're looking to spice things up in your closet.
Jasmine, thank you so much for all of these fantastic ideas. I'm going to try them out all the different days of the holidays. Each day I'm going to have a nice different piece of accessory to go along with my outfit. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. And you know what? More is more the holiday season. Just throw on the glitter. It's all good.
Great advice. Thank you so much and happy holidays.
Happy holidays. See ya.
Now let's run through all the products one more time. The mango faux leather skirt, the dotted tights, the rhinestone headband, the bobble bar huggy earrings, and the purse replacement chains. Up next, Jen Fallick is toasting the holidays with herb-infused ice cubes and rolling whiskey glasses. Don't go away.
To cover the news, you have to be in it. We'll take you to the front lines of the story, bringing your news feed to life. Streaming live every night. It's your news playlist.
Top Story with Tom Llamas, weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now.
Today is getting you ready for the holiday season. From how to get your orders on time,
The race to prepare for a holiday shipping season like no other.
to traveling shortcuts and safety essentials, what you need to know every morning on Today.
Nearly a dozen hours after the eye roared ashore. There is some late-breaking news.
All right,
Today is now a podcast, available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today.
Let's go.
We're going to kick off the Pink Power and Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
What's the best thing about being this age?
You have nothing to prove because you already proved it.
What does it feel like to be in a city that you love so much?
I am humbly proud that I stuck up for my town.
We all have the honor of helping reopen the doors.
Broadway is back!
Nearly a dozen hours after the eye roared ashore. There is some late-breaking news.
All right,
News is more than a headline. It informs, it inspires, and it still matters. To cover it, you have to be in it. And that's what we're gonna do. Every night, we take you to the front lines of the story, where it's actually happening, with NBC News journalists on the ground from all over the world. We cover what you need to know and bring your newsfeed to life. In primetime and streaming live, it's your news playlist every night.
Top Story with Tom Llamas, weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now.
Grab your apron for a new podcast, Cooking Up a Storm with Al Roker.
My forecast, yummy.
Some of the best chefs spill the beans on family secrets to get you ready for Thanksgiving.
This is fun. Bringing the heat for the holidays.
Follow now wherever you get your podcasts.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Cooking Up a Storm with Al Roker, a Thanksgiving feast and a podcast. Listen now.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Shop All Day. I'm Jen Fallick. And in this episode, we are all about the holiday joy coming our way, from hosting to decor, including infused ice cubes that will cheer up any holiday party, along with modern menorahs and Christmas tree toppers sure to make a statement. And see the QR code at the bottom of your screen? You can use the camera on your smartphone to scan it for instant access to the items on the show today. So let's get to it. If the holidays mean hosting for you, you need to know about this must-have from Uncommon Goods. It's a swivel, cheese, and tapas board. And everything that you see here rolls right up inside for simple storage. What I love about this is that, first of all, it makes it easy to look professional. Even if you're just throwing something together, you can make it look great. It has a nice little canal here for your crackers so things don't get mixed up if you don't want them to. And the 4 little dishes and the serving pieces that are here come with the piece. And when you're done using it, give it a wipe down, and all the little items store inside the larger board. So you're never missing something that you need when you're trying to get ready for a party, and whatever it is you're serving is going to look flawless. Now, if you're entertaining a crowd, these infused cocktail ice cubes will make your life so much easier. Personally, I find mixing up cocktails when I'm also trying to host guests very stressful. Not only do I always mess it up a little bit and it never tastes as good as it probably should, but sometimes I don't have the right ingredients. So these infused cocktail ice cubes are going to save you if any of that sounds relatable, which I'm sure it does. Put these in the freezer. When you're ready to serve a cocktail, take one out. You can pop it into 1 shot of alcohol, or you can mix it with seltzer if you're making mocktails. And within 10 minutes, you will have a perfectly blended cocktail. There's a cucumber and watermelon margarita, a blood orange and ginger old fashioned. There's all different options. They all taste amazing, and most importantly, they are all effortless. If you're more of a whiskey aficionado or know someone who is, these cool looking glasses are more than just a pretty bar accessory. Check this out. First of all, the rolling nature of it lets all the aromatics that are in the whiskey really amplify, so you get the best tasting experience from any glass of whiskey that you're drinking. And the walls are just thin enough so that it'll warm with your hands. So when you're holding your glass, it's gonna warm the whiskey to release all the aromatics and make it taste delicious. I also like this too because sometimes if I have a real whiskey aficionado over, I feel a little self-conscious that I'm not serving the best whiskey in the world. And if you can't impress your guests with the type of whiskey you're serving, at least you know you'll impress them with the glass you serve it in. Now, let's talk about one of my favorite topics, holiday decor. I absolutely love the chic selection at CB2 this season. The pieces are unique and timeless, and they're just such an easy way to update any of that classic holiday decor that you have and make it feel fresh. There really is a trend towards more modern, year-round decor items that can amp up your holiday spirit, but also live in your home year-round and just be a beautiful accessory. So first, we gotta check out these menorahs. CB2 has a few really beautiful menorahs this season. These two in particular are standouts. I love this marble one down here. It just has such a beautiful arch to it, and it's very neutral. So it could be fun with like rainbow candles. You go traditional blue and white. And again, this is a piece that can live in your house year-round. And this is a gorgeous one as well. This is a linear silver menorah, and it's compact for storage. It also just looks like something that may have been passed down from generations. It has a richness to the style, and it's just a perfect accessory that you can hand down year after year, even though it's something that you bought at CB2. It has that feel of a family heirloom. Now, this is one of my personal favorites. I am absolutely in love with this tree topper. This is the CB2 Burst Gold Tree Topper. Look how great it looks on top of our tree back there. It's so modern, it's so cool, and it goes with any sort of tree. A lot of people love to have like eclectic ornaments passed down or given as gifts, and they're sort of fun and funky and things don't really go together. This tree topper ties everything together. Then, when sadly the season comes to an end and you have to take down the tree, you can still use this as a decor piece. How gorgeous would this be on a shelf somewhere on top of a pile of books? It's something that year-round can live in your house and always impress your guests. And finally, we cannot talk about the holidays, or at least I cannot talk about the holidays without talking about fun, colorful Christmas lights. These lights are amazing because they look just like the ones that you see outside people's homes, great textured bulbs, but it's a charger. So your chargers are always out anyway. Everyone's always seeing them. Whether we like it or not, they're never concealed. May as well update your chargers for the season to go with the holiday decor and the festive spirit in your home. How fun is this? I mean, just switch out the charger you normally use, switch this in. It's gonna be a sad day when the holidays are over and I actually have to go back to my regular charger. This is such a fun, affordable way to amp up the holiday spirit on your desk or as a great gift to give anyone on your list. Let's go through these products one more time, and you can use the QR code to get instant access to these items. We've got the Swivel cheese and tapas board, the infused cocktail ice cubes, the Barbuzzo rolling whiskey glasses, the CB2 menorah, the CB2 Burst Gold Tree Topper, and the holiday light charging cable. And just so you know, Today works with affiliate partners and earns a commission on purchases made through our links at today.com. And that's a wrap on all of your better basics and for our show. It's been fun showing you our favorites, and tune in for another episode of Shop All Day.
let's dig into this, because there are some people who, through this pandemic, everything has kind of been on hold. But for you, I mean, I'm reading about all of these things. I mean, projects, startups. I mean, what has this year been like for you, navigating COVID and creating?
I mean, like so many of us, it put me on pause. For me, it was just about kind of distracting myself and at least being able to control the work that I did. You can't control anything in the outside world. And I think once I accepted that, I was just like, what I can control is the work that I do, my output, the projects that I'm involved in, who I can help. And that's kind of what I made my mandate for the past year. And thankfully, production started ramping back up in some instances. People started to figure out how to shoot things safely, how to gather safely. And once those parameters were met, I was like, okay, I can work.
So let's go back a little bit for people who may not know your story. A lot of us do, but some people may not. And they see you now and they see this glamorous, successful person on their screens. But I know that it hasn't always been that way. And you're very unapologetic about talking about that. I just read this morning that sometime in life you mispronounced Tupac's name. I don't even know how that's possible. I don't even.
Well, it's possible when you're a nerd like me. Yes, that was a real thing.
But tell me this, do you still feel like you're that awkward girl, or do you feel like you've blossomed? Like, where are you now? Where's your headspace?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely still feel that way. I constantly just have to accept that this is what I'm gonna be. I was just saying the other day, like, when people meet me, it's equally devastating for me, for them to think that, like, oh, I'm meeting somebody cool, and then to like watch them see like, oh, she doesn't know how to be a person, and like, oh, what is this? It's just, I think I've just come to accept that that's who people are gonna get. But it's been a journey, and I think part of my journey has been that acceptance of just like, yes, I'm this socially uncomfortable, awkward person, and I'm gonna just put it in my work. And it's really comforting to know that there's so many other people out here like that. I think I've just kind of found my community by accepting it too.
When you launched Awkward Black Girl, I was just looking, was it 10 years ago?
It was 10 years ago. We just had our 10th anniversary, February 3rd, which is wild.
Did you ever imagine what it could become? Some people say, yes, I could. Others say, no, this is beyond my wildest dreams. What about for you?
I'm others. I'm definitely like this. I made this just so I could stop talking mess, because I was complaining a lot about like what I wasn't seeing on TV. And, this was creating a character and a world to be like, if I can do it, then I know mainstream TV can do it. And so I was even surprised after the first episode. Then I was like, oh God, I got to write more and catch up. So to see the impact that it's even had 10 years later, to see what it's, birthed, I did try to use it as a way to kind of get into the industry. And so that was something where I was like, it happened, but not like this, no.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
To cover the news, you have to be in it. We'll take you to the front lines of the story, bringing your news feed to life. Streaming live every night. It's your news playlist.
Top Story with Tom Llamas, weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Make the most of your day with Today All Day. Get closer to all your friends at Today in a whole new way.
Today in 30.
We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Shop today with Jill Martin.
We're helping you shop like never before.
The latest styles and biggest names. Today Food.
Things are heating up in the Today All Day kitchen.
Cooking essentials and recipe inspiration.
Get ready. Are you ready? Oh, I'm so ready.
Only on Today All Day.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
It's so interesting. I watched your masterclass yesterday, which was phenomenal because I didn't know what to expect with those. Sometimes I didn't know, is somebody just going to kind of give us a little speech? Or are they really giving us the nuggets, the X's and O's? And you really kind of zoom in, and it made me recognize that this is a craft, and you have been at this for a very long time, even before Awkward Black Girl. I mean, this is something it seems like you've always wanted to do, isn't it?
Definitely. I've always wanted to tell stories and have kind of learned by doing. Thank you for watching the class, by the way.
I'm Issa Rae, and this is my masterclass.
It was such an incredible experience to even do it because, you know, when you're in it, you feel like, well, what am I going to teach? Because I'm still learning myself. But the team there and the producers there really extract like everything that you've been through and everything that you do know. And I was like, okay, I do feel equipped to teach this. And at least, you know, I'm all about sharing all the resources, all the tools that I have so that you can make it. And I didn't have formal training. And so I feel like this class is very friendly for people who are just like, you know what, I want to try it. I want to see what I can do. And I don't know where to start. So shout out to Masterclass for giving me a chance to teach.
You know what you talked about that resonated with me that I didn't even realize is when you talked about the 90s, you know, there were so many sitcoms that highlighted African-American families and not even just families, living single or what have you. And I thought about it when you were talking about it. It was like, there was a time when I wanted to be Rudy Huxtable. I would do my hair like Rudy. Then I wanted to be Denise. Then I wanted to go to Hillman. And now if somebody calls me Claire, I'm like...
Dang! Claire's still a compliment, though. But dang.
No, but for me, I'm like,
that is a range.
Yes, our little brown children. Thank you. That's me. And I'm not even kidding.
Yeah.
Like, that's the truth. But the point is, though, that you talk about the power of representation, right? And so now we're in a new phase of life, which I guess is why, you know, Insecure speaks to a lot of people. But talk to me about that, because there was a time when those shows went away in the 90s that we kind of had a void. What was that impact for you?
That impact was like, what happened? Why? Like, I know that these shows are possible to exist. And you know, reality television, bless reality television's heart, it's really entertaining, but that ended up kind of being the sole representation for Black people, Black women. And that was kind of disturbing to me because it didn't show how multifaceted we are. I didn't know a lot of people, my friends weren't like the women that were portrayed on television. And again, it's entertainment, and that's not a knock on those women, but we were just more than that. And I missed seeing our simple stories on screen, and to see that, you know, when I think about white representation, it's been like, that's the gamut. Like they get everything. And so I wanted that for us too. And so I think that a lot of people were feeling that way at the time. And I think that's why you even see a renaissance now of so much content. And we have such a long way to go.
Are we in a renaissance? Like sometimes people talk about the Harlem Renaissance or different phases in history. Are we in a content renaissance, you think, with, you know, social media and YouTube? I mean, there's so many places where you can find content.
We're in a content renaissance for sure. I don't know if it's a Black renaissance. It's definitely not a people of color renaissance, because we were barely scratching the surface there. But it's coming, it's developing. And I think, you know, with all these different platforms and the way of streamlining it, there's only so much you can continue to offer the same type of show over and over again. So you have to expand the stories. We're hungry.
What happened in between Awkward Black Girl and Insecure? Is there a time in your life that we just don't know about? I mean, was there a hustle there? Or was somebody like, knock, 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 hey, you're great, let's put you on? Like, what was in between there?
Lots of messing up, lots of learning lessons, you know. Between Awkward Black Girl and Insecure, I got offers to turn Awkward Black Girl into a television show. But, you know, we had so much online, or some people just wanted to replace the cast, or they just didn't understand it, or they wanted to franchise it to make it international. In one instance where they were like, we could do Awkward Indian Boy, we could do Awkward Israeli Girl. And I was like, that's missing the point. Then I had an opportunity to work with ABC and mess that up, which I talk about in my masterclass, as like, oh, this was my one shot to transition from YouTube to television, and I messed up. I was creating more web series. You know, I got to work with Tracy Edmonds on a show. So there were so many things. I wrote a book. There were so many things that I was doing in between that time just to kind of exercise my creative muscles and stay afloat. But I was deathly afraid that kind of awkward Black girl was all I was going to end up having to offer.
How do you know when something is right? It's the right project, because there's certainly no shortage of offers at this point. How do you know in your gut this is something?
I very much make what I want to see. I participate in what I want to be a part of. That's down to every television and film project that I do. Do I want to see it? Do I want to be in it? Do I think my friends would find it funny? That's every business, that I take part in. So that would be like with the coffee shops. I ran out of coffee shops. I wanted a neighborhood coffee shop and I had to leave. So, invested in Hilltop, and now we have one in Inglewood and View Park and Eagle Rock. And those are my communities. I think about, hair is such a big part of my life. And so, having Sienna Naturals has been an incredible experience because it's about like taking care of my hair, which is something that I've learned. So anything that I take part in is something that I feel that I would need and use and want to see.
Speaking of hair, can we talk about how Insecure your hair is different? There for a while, like every scene, I was like, "Oh, what's she gonna do now?" Which has nothing to do, I guess, with the plot, but it's just
not at all,
right? But that's what I'm saying. There are just so many ways that you're speaking to people without even speaking, if that makes any sense.
No, I wish I appreciate, I have to shout out my hairstylist, Felicia Leatherwood, who is really, it's been a hair journey. You talk about 10 years, you look at my hair in Awkward Black Girl, I had just shaved my head because I was tired of it. And with Insecure, we really wanted to just showcase the different things that you can do with natural hair because, when it comes to representation, it's so hard to see 4C hair, 4D, all of these specific textures of hair aren't necessarily seen as beautiful. And so being able to showcase that and also, have a hair product where it's encouraging being able to take care of textured hair just felt like it goes hand in hand. It's always been a passion of mine and it's been a part of my identity.
So wait, the hair product, are the products out now?
The products are out now. Sienna Naturals, they're in Target and Nordstrom. You can go cop them. That if you use a happy shampoo and you aren't happy afterwards, if you're not like, oh, my hair, God, what happened? Then complain, but you won't. Okay. So yes, you can get them at Target and Nordstrom. Shout out to the founder, Hannah Jope, who I watched her create those products in her kitchen. It has to be 10 years ago now? No, about 8 years ago now. And to see her develop the products over time with textured hair in mind and make them the best that they can be has been incredible. And now, on set, that's all I use.
Is it easier to pass a bipartisan bill right now than it is to pass a Democrats-only bill? This supply chain issue has been a problem for months. Do you concur that this is going to get worse before it gets better? Are you concerned about the direction of your party? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
People really don't know what's going to happen. Nearly a dozen hours after the eye roared ashore. More good people than bad people, right? 5 seconds. 4. There is some late-breaking news. 4 hours into the Iowa caucuses. Private hand delivered.
All right, it just did too.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition. Nearly a dozen hours after the eye roared ashore. There is some late-breaking news.
All right, it just did too.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Let's go. You think you'll run for office one of these days? I'm not saying no to anything. Wow.
Welcome to Football Fright in America.
That was amazing.
Today is now a podcast available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
This isn't about spending going forward. This is about spending that's already happened. Do you accept the idea that we have a crisis at the border? The vaccine mandate. Is this going to work or is this going to backfire? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
So before we start a new chapter, we're closing the chapter after 5 years or 5 seasons on Insecure. I guess there's nothing I could say that would reverse that. I'm like sad. I'm sad.
No, you're gonna make me sad if you reverse it. What are you talking about?
Because there's so many of us who don't. Well, what are we gonna do? It's like we wait for it. I guess, are you ready to let it go?
I'm definitely ready to let it go. I knew that I wanted to end it after 5 seasons, and I feel like I'm really proud of this season that we're telling now, like we're shooting now. It's so much fun, and it's made me appreciate the show in a different way. But yeah,
so
I'm ready.
Lawrence gonna like trot off in the sunset somewhere?
Is that what you want?
I think so. Yes, that's what I would like, Issa.
Well, I guess you just have to watch season 5.
I would like. Do you worry what people? I guess I'm sure you don't. I probably know the answer to this question. I mean, people are invested. I mean, you've seen it.
Yeah.
Like they are. Almost sometimes it's like y'all that they're acting. I mean, but it's right.
Do I worry? Yes, I worry, because I know like it's a story that, you know, is gonna come to an end, and even in the room, it's you know, it's hard. It's hard not to think about that. I think the first 4 seasons, it was easier to be like, okay, whatever, tune the audience out. It's great that they love the show, they have their opinions, but we just want to tell a story. But to end a show is different. So yes, I worry, but like the story at the end of the day is gonna be my story. So
do you know, so is it done? Like, do you know?
It's done. I mean, yeah, we're shooting it right now, but it's done.
But what's gonna be is gonna be.
What's good?
I'm like trying to look your big, beautiful brown eyes. I'm like trying to see if I can see any kind of like, Lord.
What's gonna be is gonna be.
Okay. It's interesting. I read that you and Insecure showrunner, Prentice Penny, met every year over poolside drinks, and you were talking about the upcoming season.
RIP poolside drinks. We did not do that this season. We had to do poolside Zooms. And it was, you know, we made the best of it, but I love that man so much. And he's taught me so much about running a room. Like, even I'm working on a new show now, and the showrunner is also someone who has come out of the Insecure room, and we've learned so much from him and his process. And he's really just inspired kind of I think a legacy of writers. But yes, I think that Insecure will not die because it will produce so many other shows.
That's the good way to put it. Okay, so let me pivot as we come to a close here. For as much as you put yourself out there, you're also very private in many ways. Where is your line? I remember, was it the cover of, I think it was Essence, and people were like, "Ooh, Issa had on a ring," and you know, everybody's, you know, looking.
Yep.
Where's your line?
That is my line. I think I'm always like, I don't want people to know too much like that I don't want to put out there. I think just via characters. I also don't want people. I want people to be able to separate me from the characters, which I made a huge mistake about with Insecure by even naming the character Issa. Because
you think so?
You know, people call me cheater. They like. There's so many things that they just, by way of like, they're just calling the character name, which happens to be me, and you know, it is a past version of me. So in that way, I would have named her like Isabel or some other name. I should have done better, but yeah, I think, you know, my personal life is just that. It's personal.
So then what has been, I guess, if I were to say the biggest surprise of your career so far, what would it be?
You know, I came into this like wide-eyed, excited about, you know, my heroes, and to know that I have not been disappointed by a hero. I will say I have such a great community of women in this industry who have embraced me, who have, you know, tried to guide me, who have served as blueprints, and the women that I mess with deeply believe in and want the best for our communities. And I love that. So that's been a surprise, because you hear like, don't meet your heroes, people are fake. And I have not had that experience. So that has been a pleasant surprise.
And it seems like you're a giver. I mean, you kind of touched on this already, but there's some people who I almost feel like they hide the wealth of the information. I feel like for you, what's your thought? You just put it out there, and because what's for you is for you, or how do you navigate, especially with other women?
Yeah, I'm definitely like, why am I holding on to this knowledge, these resources, whatever? I've never believed in that. It's always been so ugly for people to be like, well, I got it. I don't know. You got to figure it out. And it's so much more fun and rich when, we can all kind of work alongside each other and help each other out. And in many cases, people have done the same for me of just like, hey, I applied to this program, you should apply too. And so, yeah, I think that that's just a natural philosophy for me.
People really don't know what's going to happen. Only a dozen hours after the Eye roared ashore. More good people than bad people, right? Yeah, 5 seconds. 4, 3. There is some late-breaking news 4 hours into the Iowa caucuses. By the hammer and everything.
All right, it just meant to.
Is it easier to pass a bipartisan bill right now than it is to pass a Democrats-only bill? This supply chain issue has been a problem for months. Do you concur that this is going to get worse before it gets better? Are you concerned about the direction of your party? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Let's go. You think you'll run for office one of these days?
I'm not saying no to anything.
Wow.
Welcome to Football Fright in America.
That was amazing.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
Today is now a podcast available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Today is now a podcast available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
You have so many projects going on. When you lay your head down on the pillow at night, are you able to put it all on hold, pause? Is it all going?
It's definitely ongoing, but at night, like I fall asleep. I can fall asleep anywhere. I'm a person, I don't know about you, like fall asleep on the
right
plane.
Now, actually.
Exactly.
No problem.
So that's kind of me. I have done this thing. I had to do this thing where I listen to sounds at night.
Okay.
I changed from like listening to the ocean and rain to listening to.
Don't say bugs.
Podcasts. No, ew, no.
Well, I didn't know if you're gonna be like, girl, crickets.
Absolutely not. So I can like dream about them.
Yeah, no, I didn't know podcast was gonna come out. My bad. I interrupted. Podcasts. So you're listening to
crickets is a good guess.
Yeah.
Maybe I will try that. Crickets have a smoothie.
So you're listening to words of wisdom.
Yeah, in some cases, or words of destruction. You know what's also really soothing for me, oddly enough, and I think I just saw like an article headline about it. Murder crime documentaries. I don't know what it is. I know. Okay, I should share that.
But you're not alone. Honestly, look, I host episodes of Dateline on OWN sometimes, and I get more people saying, "Girl, I saw you on doing Dateline," and I'm like, the spouse did it. Like, y'all keep watching it.
Like, the spouse, that's literally my genre, is the spouse did it. I think that's what's comforting about it. I know how this is going to end.
So you're not alone. All right. So here's a question for you then. How do you recharge when you have so many projects, you have so much going on? What fills your cup? What
fills my cup is Prosecco or wine.
Fair enough. Literally.
So that definitely helps to relax me. I love like listening to a good book, reading a good book, watching television, not necessarily movies. I like to be immersed in a world, and that's kind of where that's where I live. Like I love that. That's how I relax.
So then it's when we see people make it, sometimes you assume that the people, never have to worry again, or they feel like, oh, I've made it. But clearly it seems like you are always evolving. I
am, but it just comes from a desire to want to keep learning and want to see what else I can do to try to do more. So that's just kind of been, I think that's a part of me.
All right, lightning round, last thing. You ready? Rapid fire. Favorite character you've ever written?
Favorite character I've ever written is baby voice Darius in Awkward Black Girl.
Derek?
Mantra you live by?
Give to the world your best, and the best will come back to you.
Oh, I like that. Guilty pleasure?
Crime documentaries.
Favorite way to unwind?
I mean, drinking.
Have you ever done lavender infused simple syrup?
No.
You just get some fresh lavender and you just boil it and make it a simple syrup and you pour that in the Prosecco.
Ooh, I just learned that for rosemary and didn't think to do it with anything else. So I'm 100% gonna do that.
Lavender.
I love that.
Lavender, you're welcome. The TV character you're most like?
Khadijah from Living Single.
Oh, Khadijah, I haven't heard that in a while. TV character you most want to be like?
Denise from Cosby Show. Yeah, I dress like. Denise was kind of aloof.
Oh,
but
okay.
I want Denise's fashion. Who I want to be like? I would say like Maxine from Living Single.
Maxine. Living Single was...
It was monumental.
Yeah. I was like, oh, I want to live. I didn't know that existed. Like you could live single on your own. Don't let me get started. Okay. Texting or talking?
Texting. No, talking in person. I'm sorry. Talking
in person. Last, four more. Who inspires you the most?
Debbie Allen.
Oh yeah. I was able to tell her how much I loved her the other day.
She's incredible.
She's everything. Best hype music?
Little Scrappy, No Problem.
Haha. Favorite food?
Gumbo and Chebujan.
Oh. Favorite drink?
Prosecco.
Place you
Prosecco with vodka.
Cheers. Place you do your best thinking?
In the shower.
Last three. Word to live by for 2021?
Tomorrow's a better day.
Ooh, amen. Thing you're most looking forward to post-pandemic?
I cannot wait to throw a lit ass house party. Cannot wait.
House parties. Remember those?
Yes.
The last question. What's the one question you never get asked that you wish someone would ask you?
Do you want to get some food on me?
What?
I just wish people would ask that more.
Like, do you want to say the question again?
Do you want to get some food on me?
Oh, like on me.
Like
I'll pay for it.
I mean, the other way works too. I could have said that better. It needed some commas.
Well, because you remember the Sex and the City episode with Samantha and the sushi? I don't know.
Yes. Wasn't that in the movie? When she was
maybe. No, you're right. It was a movie. No, you're right. It was in the movie. And so I was like, is that a scene? Like, are you trying?
I mean, it could be. I'm not mad at that either. If the food is free.
If the food is free. Thank you so much. I hope I talk to you again. Like you were so good.
I hope I see you in person again. And thank you so much for this interview.
Thank you. God bless.
Welcome to Today All Day.
All day?
Today, all day.
All day.
This is a long way of asking who's your favorite character you've ever played? The unicorn. The unicorn. You gotta have the unicorn.
What is she right there? That's why you're saying all these nice things?
Yeah, she gave me the look. Sorry to disturb your day. Everyone's mad at you, Willie.
Better make this fast. I don't want the wrath of Luna.
When I see you, I always think, I wonder what his quote would be.
Give us 6 minutes and we'll ask as many questions as we can.
Welcome to Cold Cuts. Cold cut. Cold cut.
My buddy Cal cooking with me.
Dads don't babysit. It's called parenting.
What was the first book you remember loving?
Heart Smart Today with simple exercises to strengthen your heart.
Make the most of your beach days.
It's all about the tracksuit now. How good do they look?
I now pronounce you husband and wife. Kiss the bride.
This morning, a story of people helping people.
You've received tons of letters from people who have been inspired.
Let's do the weather out. Okay. All you gotta do is say, it's cold, it's warm, it's raining, it's snowing. That's it.
One of our most favorite franchises ever, Ambush Makeovers.
Okay.
Look at it. It doesn't look so
No, it doesn't look good.
Will you judge us in a cook-off?
I will, and you
Okay.
guys will definitely win something.
Today, all day.
All day?
All day.
Welcome to Today, All Day.
Welcome to the Today All Day Kitchen.
Thanksgiving is just around the corner, so today we're cooking up an all-star feast.
And making our favorite takes on classic holiday dishes. I'm kicking things off with a juicy marinated turkey and my favorite turkey tips.
And I'll whip up my favorite stuffing made with sourdough and challah.
And it just wouldn't be Thanksgiving without the perfect sweet potato pie. I'm Jocelyn Delk Adams.
I'm Jay Cohen.
And I'm Alejandra Ramos.
And this is Today Food All-Stars. Let's get cooking.
This turkey recipe is based on how my mom made our family's Thanksgiving turkey. Growing up Puerto Rican, our main attraction at holiday dinners was always pork. But one year, my mom decided to use that same citrusy marinade for turkey. And trust me, it works. Marinating can help keep a large bird nice and juicy, even through the long cook time. All right, so the star of this dish is the marinade. It's super simple. All we have to do is add every single one of our ingredients and let the blender do its work. We're gonna start off with an onion, and all we're gonna do here is quarter it and peel it. Really, really simple. Next up, I'm using a red bell pepper. You can swap in green, orange, or whatever you'd like. Now it's time for the garlic. This wouldn't be a Puerto Rican recipe without a lot of garlic. So we've got 16 cloves. Now we're gonna add a cup of olive oil, and that is gonna be enough to kind of get us started. And let it go. All right, that's already looking fantastic. Matches my dress. We're gonna add a little bit of cilantro. Now we're gonna add a little bit of that citrus. So for this, my mom growing up would use Swivel oranges, which are also known as sour oranges, but they can be a little bit hard to find. So an easy swap is to just use 2 regular oranges and then the juice of 1 lemon. That way you get that beautiful tart citrus juice. Now we're gonna add some fresh lemon juice to it. All right, let's get that going again. We're gonna add some smoked Spanish paprika to this. It gives the bird a gorgeous color after it's roasted. That's what I love. We're also gonna do some black pepper and then salt. Always so key. This is what dials up the intensity of flavors. A 1/4 cup of kosher salt. I know that sounds like a lot, but trust me, it's what you need for this bird. Amazing. How beautiful is that? So our marinade's done. Gonna let that hang out for a little bit and move on to making our herb butter. So for this, we're using fresh oregano and thyme, but of course you can use any kind of herbs that you want. So for this, we're using a softened salted butter, which makes it really easy to incorporate those fresh herbs. You just kind of want to mix it up, mash the herbs in so it's nice and evenly distributed. And because you know I love my paprika, we're gonna add 1 tablespoon of it. This is gonna add flavor, but also color. Mix that in. Perfect. Okay, so now that the butter is prepped, it's time to bring out the guest of honor, our turkey. When you get a turkey at the store, it's usually wrapped up in plastic. You wanna get rid of that. For this, I like to use just some paper towel just to pat it dry, get rid of any juices that are on the turkey. Some turkeys come with giblets and the turkey neck inside, so you wanna make sure you check. If it is there, you can just take that all out. Now we're gonna add the herb butter that we made. And I just like to go a little bit at a time, kind of slip it in there, and then use your hands to press it in and around that breast. I also like to add a little bit of the herb butter inside the cavity. Just kind of spread it around in there. The more butter, the more flavor. And this is the easiest part. All you have to do is pour that beautiful creamy marinade right over the bird. I like to do this on a rimmed sheet pan so that it holds any kind of overflow. All right, that is one beautifully marinated bird. Happy Puerto Rican Thanksgiving. Now I'm gonna prep a few vegetables to stuff inside the turkey cavity. This is gonna add a lot of flavor as the turkey roasts. So for this, I'm using an onion, and all we're gonna do is quarter it. Don't worry about peeling. This is really just about the aroma. Take the garlic, and we're just gonna cut it right along the side like this, just to kind of release the garlickiness. I've got 1 orange to reflect those delicious citrus flavors in our marinade, and 1 lemon. So what we're gonna do now is just stuff all of this inside the bird. Just get as much as you can in there. What's great too is those citrus fruits, as they cook, the juices will kind of come out. So fantastic. Now, just to kind of keep things under control as it cooks, keep things decent, we're gonna tie the legs a little bit. And this isn't a fancy truss, that's not my jam. I like to keep it really simple. And our final step before we put the bird in the oven is to add some broth and some fun flavors to the base of our roasting pan. I'm gonna do about 3 cups of broth, and you can use any kind that you want. Chicken, turkey, beef, whatever you have, and some orange juice to, again, kind of pick up those beautiful citrus flavors in the marinade. Now we're gonna add some fresh herbs. Just gonna drop it in. This will sort of infuse that broth as it cooks. So it's like it's gonna have this beautiful herbal steam bath. A little aromatherapy for your turkey. Some fresh oregano, and a few bay leaves. So now we're gonna cover our bird with some foil before it goes into the oven, just to kind of keep things nice and hot inside. We are gonna roast this turkey at 325 degrees for a total of 4.5 hours. About halfway through, take the foil off and add another cup or 2 of broth to that roasting pan. Time to roast the turkey. All right, so our turkey is fully roasted. I've got one little finishing touch. I like to glaze my turkey with some guava jam. This is Puerto Rican. We're going with those delicious tropical flavors, and guava is one of my favorites. If you can't find guava jam, you can always use something like apricot or even raspberry. For this, I'm using a pastry brush. So you just dip it in and paint. Guava is one of my favorite flavors. This is like the smell of home to me. I'm a sucker for that savory, sweet combo. That looks amazing. Now to set the glaze, we're gonna pop it back under the broiler for just about 3 to 5 minutes, just until it's set.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today.
Let's go! International Day of the Girl.
The strength and courage of these women is remarkable.
What's your message to girls who want to make a difference?
Believe in yourself. You can make it happen.
Is it easier to pass a bipartisan bill right now than it is to pass a Democrats-only bill? This supply chain issue has been a problem for months. Do you concur that this is going to get worse before it gets better? Are you concerned about the direction of your party? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
People really don't know what's going to happen. Nearly a dozen hours after the eye roared ashore. More good people than bad people, you know, right? 5 seconds. 4, 3. There is some late-breaking news 4 hours into the Iowa caucuses by the Andrew Deliberations.
All right, it just me too.
Cooking up a storm with Al Roker, a Thanksgiving feast and a podcast. Listen now. Today
Today is getting you ready for the holiday season. From how to get your orders on time,
The race to prepare for a holiday shipping season like no other.
to traveling shortcuts and safety essentials, what you need to know every morning on Today.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, so I always bring the beautiful bird out to the table on a platter, but after we say grace, I bring it back into the kitchen because nobody wants to carve a turkey on the table. You really want to be able to do it in the kitchen where you can have much more control over the bird. I like to start with the breast, and I let the breastbone in the center be my guide, cutting slightly either to the left or to the right to get that beautiful piece of the turkey breast out. And so you just sort of run your knife along and then use your hands to pull the meat as you cut. Once you hit a point where you can't go any further, you can come in from the side and then pull that breast meat off. So you can just cut it against the grain on the bias, just kind of going in into beautiful little slices. So I always like to get a little bit of the skin with the meat. So good. I'm getting all of those flavors in that marinade, everything I want in my Thanksgiving turkey.
Today is getting you ready for the holiday season. From how to get your orders on time,
The race to prepare for a holiday shipping season like no other.
to traveling shortcuts and safety essentials, what you need to know every morning on Today.
Cooking up a storm with Al Roker, a Thanksgiving feast and a podcast. Listen now.
People really don't know what's going to happen. Nearly a dozen hours after the eye roared ashore. More good people than bad people, I know, right? 5 seconds. 4, 3. There is some late-breaking news 4 hours into the Iowa caucuses by the banner deliberations.
All right, it just did too.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today.
Let's go.
We're going to kick off the Pink Power and Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
What's the best thing about being this age?
You have nothing to prove because you already proved it.
What does it feel like to be in a city that you love so much?
I am humbly proud that I stuck up for my town.
We all have the honor of helping reopen the doors.
Broadway is back!
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
Grab your apron for a new podcast, Cooking Up a Storm with Al Roker.
My forecast, yummy.
Some of the best chefs spill the beans on family secrets to get you ready for Thanksgiving.
This is fun. Bringing the heat for the holidays.
Follow now wherever you get your podcasts.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Today is now a podcast, available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Growing up, one of the best things my mother would make at Thanksgiving was her stuffing. The only thing was she would use like whole wheat sandwich bread, which is kind of basic. I still love you, Mom. I adore your stuffing, but I wanted to kick it up a notch by using some more flavorful breads. The only thing I did keep was her secret ingredient, which is apples. It had such a gorgeous sweetness. Honestly, the stuffing isn't just great for Thanksgiving. You can make it any time of year. So let's get started with our bread. I love sourdough because it adds really great flavor and structure. I think a key part that you need to know when you're making stuffing is the balance of breads. I'm using something with some structure and something that's a little bit softer and more buttery. You want that combo of both because no one likes mushy stuffing. So I'm slicing this into 1-inch kind of thick planks. And then from there, you don't have to get so precious. You just want to take your slices and then start to tear it into 1-inch pieces. Just like that. Don't get crazy, it's gonna be great. I have 2 sheet pans here, and we're just going to spread them out. A little bit of an arm workout. And this is actually one of the parts of the recipe that I would always help my mother make growing up. Challah is my favorite bread ever. It's super soft, super luxurious. It's gonna add so much richness to your stuffing. We have our sourdough, challah ready to go into the oven. Preheated oven, 300 degrees. We're just gonna bake it for about 15 to 20 minutes. You don't want dry. We just want it to be like on its way to becoming croutons. Now let's chat vegetables. We have 3 leeks here. Alliums are the base of almost any recipe, but for Thanksgiving, I find that leeks really give that Thanksgiving vibe you're looking for. They're a lot more delicate in flavor. Here's the deal with leeks. You gotta clean them really well. The easiest way to do that, took off the tops, we're gonna take off the bottoms, and now we're just going to slice them lengthwise. Reveal these beautiful layers. This is where all the sand and dirt gets caught. I'm gonna pop it into a bowl of water, and you just wanna go through and start to get it nice and clean. We're just going to thinly slice these. Think about like 1/4-inch slices. Put it to the side, and what that means is we're going to use 2 carrots, 2 parsnips, and 2 stalks of celery. We really want nice, like little bite size. Not too small, not too big. I'm looking for a nice small dice. And we're gonna start to build this all in one bowl. Parsnips. They are one of my favorite vegetables. This is one of my favorite ingredients to use in all of fall because it's super cozy. It's got that real nice depth of earthiness, a bit of sweetness. I've got herbs. I'm using thyme and sage today. We're adding just enough to perfume the whole dish. Everyone is very different in terms of their love of garlic. I'm not gonna lie to you, I've used 8 before, 10. I love a lot of garlic, so you really can kind of do this to your own vibe. Last but not least, we're gonna do a 1/2 cup of minced parsley. Just grab a nice handful and we're gonna run our knife through it. Now that our parsley is minced, the last thing we gotta do is chop up an apple. This is the one thing that my mother taught me, and that is the secret to a great stuffing, apples. It's gonna add that perfect sweetness, that punch of fall. And the one thing I want you to know is that a Honeycrisp is the supreme variety. But what I love about these is they don't brown really quickly. It's gonna be nice and bright and still add all of that gorgeous sweetness. Our bread is toasted. I'm gonna let that cool slightly, but meanwhile, we're gonna start sauteing our veggies. Got a pan here over medium-high heat. We are going to melt a full stick of butter. It's Thanksgiving, you gotta treat yourself. Definitely not a time for diet food. But butter, I mean, who doesn't love butter? Our butter is melted and bubbling. You do wanna make sure it's nice and hot. Not burning, not browning yet, but all melted. We're gonna add in our leeks. We're cooking down our leeks until they are nice and jammy. Sounds cute, but really it's a scientific term. They are going to release all of that beautiful sugar, which is going to caramelize, and then it's going to really look like jam at the end. I warned you that leeks are quintessential for the aromas of Thanksgiving. Butter, leeks, right now I already smell stuffing. I'm telling you, this is the most important thing, especially when your guests arrive. They're gonna smell your kitchen. It's gonna be so delicious. And we are going to keep going and add all of our chopped veggies. We have our carrots, parsnips, and celery. We're starting to cook these vegetables, but we're not looking to fully cook them. At this point, let's start seasoning. I think that too often people do not season as they go. It's such a crucial aspect to make sure that everything tastes seasoned and not salty. There really is something magical when like garlic hits a hot pan. And just like that, we're done with our cooking. Our vegetables are sauteed. I'm gonna let these cool down for a little bit. Why do you want them to cool down? It's all going back in the oven. That's because we're gonna be tossing this up with our hands. You do not want to burn yourself. Y'all ready to toss? It's the sound of crunchy bread. This is where the magic starts to happen. Let's go in with these veggies. Get every last bit of butter. We got our Honeycrisp apple, parsley, 2 cups of apple cider, and then 2 cups of vegetable stock. We got the stock, we got the vegetables. We need something to brighten this up. Cut through all of that richness, and I find that a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar is just gonna help add a little bit more balance. 1/2 cup of heavy cream, more richness, more custardy goodness. We're using 3/4 cup of nuts. Last but not least, we have our eggs. You wanna be not delicate. We're not trying to obliterate the bread, but we do want to start to squeeze in all of these juices and get it kind of homogeneous, because really, like, you don't want your stuffing to fall apart as you cut into it. I have a 9x13 baking dish. You could use ceramic, you could use glass, you could use something that is an heirloom from your grandmother, anything that's going to hold this stuffing. I've bumped up the temperature to 375, and we're gonna bake this for about 50 to 60 minutes till it's beautifully golden, cook through. Your whole kitchen's gonna smell even better. Now this is a stuffing. You have the nice little golden bits of crispy bread. The center is going to be nice and delicious, and I've soaked up all of the flavors of our vegetables, herbs. You got the apples. This is going to be a stuffing your family's gonna be talking about forever. Let's give it a try. I'm a big believer in the corner piece. You worked for this, you get it. Great bread to veggie ratio. It's like if Thanksgiving was wrapped up into a bread pudding and really, 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 really given like a warm hug, it's this stuffing. I'm gonna keep eating this, but have a happy Thanksgiving.
Today is getting you ready for the holiday season. From how to get your orders on time,
The race to prepare for a holiday shipping season like no other.
to traveling shortcuts and safety essentials, what you need to know every morning on Today.
Grab your apron for a new podcast, Cooking Up a Storm with Al Roker.
My forecast, yummy.
Some of the best chefs spill the beans on family secrets to get you ready for Thanksgiving.
This is fun. Bringing the heat for the holidays.
Listen now wherever you get your podcasts.
Nearly a dozen hours after the eye roared ashore. There is some late-breaking news.
All right,
News is more than a headline. It informs, it inspires, and it still matters. To cover it, you have to be in it. And that's what we're gonna do. Every night, we take you to the front lines of the story, where it's actually happening, with NBC News journalists on the ground from all over the world. We cover what you need to know and bring your newsfeed to life in primetime and streaming live. It's your news playlist every night.
Top Story with Tom Llamas, weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now.
Cooking Up a Storm with Al Roker, a Thanksgiving feast and a podcast. Listen now.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Cooking Up a Storm with Al Roker, a Thanksgiving feast and a podcast. Listen now.
In my family, there is no Thanksgiving without a really good sweet potato pie. And I mean, it's so good, you might as well forget about the turkey. Dessert is what everyone wants anyway. Am I right? I am taking a classic sweet potato pie to the next level because my recipe is full of indulgent fall flavors with an extra dose of everyone's favorite campfire treat. You can't have an amazing pie without an amazing crust. You gotta have that incredible, delicious graham cracker. So I'm gonna add this right into our food processor. And here's another thing, if you don't have these available, you can also buy the crumbs right in the grocery store, already ready. And you really wanna create some nice crumbs here, pretty fine. So just make sure you get these grinded all the way down. All right, so once you have it all grinded up, we're just gonna add this directly into a large mixing bowl. Get all our crumbs in there. And then I'm gonna add a little bit of granulated sugar. And then we're just gonna whisk all of this together. We wanna make sure that we combine that sugar so you taste it in every single bite of this pie. And once you have a nice mix on that, we're gonna add some melted butter in here so we can actually start to bring this crust together. You can add whatever butter you have in the fridge, y'all, and I know you have plenty of butter for the holidays. And then I'm gonna use a spatula to start to combine everything. We wanna make sure that we moisten all of the graham crackers so it'll stick together and adhere really well. And you can sort of test it by just sort of sticking your finger in, and if you see it starts to actually stick together, it's ready to go. So I'm gonna dump this into a 9-inch pie plate. And then this is when your hands get a little dirty. I'm gonna start to press this right into the bottom of the pan. can just work your hands around and make it as even as possible. It doesn't have to be perfect, so don't worry about messing it up. Once you have your pie crust set up in your pie plate, it's time to bake it off. You want to make sure that this sets up and gets a nice golden color. Our pie crust is ready to go in the oven at 350 for about 10 minutes. Okay, so our gorgeous pie crust is out of the oven, and look at that golden color. I mean, it really just looks so beautiful. We're going to let this cool for a bit while we start working on our filling. So, of course, if you have sweet potatoes for the holidays, you can actually just bake them until soft and use that as a nice substitute as well. But for the ease of this recipe, you can just grab a can of this and it's gonna make your life so much easier. So I'm gonna add this to our mixing bowl. Get all of that in there. And this is crucial because you do not want to use cold eggs for this recipe. You want to make sure that they are room temperature so your pie filling will set up perfectly. And we're also gonna add 1 egg yolk. There we go. And now we're gonna add some dark brown sugar. And I'm just gonna scoop that in, pack it down, and add that right into our mixer as well. And finally, I'm going to add some vanilla extract. You wanna make sure you use the real thing. All right, and we're gonna mix that all together. First, I'm going to add in some cornstarch. And then I'm also going to add in some ground cinnamon. I'm also going to add in some salt. I want to add some cloves, some nutmeg, and some ginger. And seriously, your kitchen is going to smell fantastic. All right, get that nice and mixed in. And then finally, we're going to add in some milk and also some heavy cream. Now, this pie batter is going to seem a little bit thin, but do not worry about it. It's going to bake up like a dream. This is a super deep pie plate, so we're able to get all of the filling in here. I cranked the temperature up to 375 so we get this nice setting of the pie. And we're gonna bake this for about 50 to 55 minutes and then check on it about halfway through. Now our beautiful sweet potato pie is out of the oven, and I've been letting it cool for about 3 hours. And now we're gonna get started on our chocolate ganache, which is going to go right on top of it. So I'm gonna start with our chocolate chips, and I'm gonna add that into our mixing bowl. And then I also have some heavy whipping cream. And that's all it is, y'all. Super easy. And this is going to go into our microwave so we can let that chocolate melt down. So now we're just gonna whisk all of the ingredients together until smooth. This smells amazing. So you wanna let this cool for maybe about 10 minutes and then you can add it to your pie. And then I'm just gonna take a tiny offset spatula and spread that around. Okay, we've got our graham crackers, we've got our chocolate, and now it's time for our marshmallows. I'm just gonna start adding these right to the top. Have fun with this. I just went with a super classic approach here. I went with just some jumbo marshmallows. I just love how organic and fun this feels, and you know, it really does seem like you're by the campfire. You can also just grab one right off of the pie and just eat it for a snack. You know, win-win. But not quite complete, because we've got to torch these babies. Now, kitchen torch. Most of you may not have this at home, but if you do want to invest in these, it's so much fun. You put this on the table at Thanksgiving and people are going to just gasp. You just can't deny wanting a piece of this, right? Got that chocolate, with that mix of those fall spices and that filling, and then that graham cracker crust is just so perfectly crisp. This recipe is so perfect for Thanksgiving, and I hope you have a wonderful one.
All right. Well.
No, you didn't just start the show with your mouth full.
I can do that. I'm very ambidextrous.
You're ambidextrous, but your mouth can only hold so much food.
I'm Al.
Oh, he swallowed. I'm Chanel.
Dylan's still on maternity leave, and we are off the rails. Well, hello, everybody. How are you?
Hi. Well, why do you sound extra delightful today? Did you have time to set up a microphone or something?
I did. I actually went and dug into my bag of Sirius XM equipment that they've sent, and actually, I think I bought this one. This is mine. But it is it's a Shure microphone. It has a little better sound. It has and it just plugs into the computer and boom. We had this morning one of our more unusual third hours of today because it's a family week here on third hour of today. And this morning, my quote, baby brother, Chris Roker, and I, and he, along with Chanel Jones and Craig Melvin, co-hosted the third hour of today. And it's funny because when he was younger, we looked nothing alike. I mean, seriously. I mean, he was, he had a full head of hair and he was thinner and now, you know, the Roker genes took over, or actually I think more the Smith genes. My mother's father was bald.
Okay.
And Chris's male pattern baldness started in, and he just started shaving his head.
Can I give you a confession?
Sure.
If I see a man who's bald, you or Chris, it never once crossed my mind that it just wasn't something that he wanted to do. Never crossed my mind.
No, any man with a shaved head, 9 times out of 10 is shaving it because he was going bald.
So what about like Michael Jordan back in the day?
Well, I don't know if he was going bald, but I'm assuming that Michael Jordan is a somewhat vain individual. I think he just decided to shave it off, just take it out. And a lot of guys look good, you know, with a shaved head.
It's a look. I didn't even.
It's a look. It's a thing. So, but yeah, no, Chris has a, you know, like me, kind of, you know, that William Frawley, you know, the Fred Mertz look. So he.
No, I don't know that reference.
Again, I don't know if it's because, did you not ever watch I Love Lucy?
No, I didn't actually.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute, me.
You have never watched.
We are only 4 minutes into this 60-minute show, so don't.
You have never watched I Love Lucy?
I've watched the clips of the conveyor belt.
But you've never watched an entire episode of I Love Lucy?
No, I have not. You know what? Take your judgment and shove it.
Wow. You know, a lot of people think that Chanel Jones is this somewhat angelic, innocent young woman. 1 out of 3 is correct. You are a young woman. But you are...
but you said, this is what you did. You said, and we can re-roll the tape. You said, that's what you did.
I did. Oh, I absolutely.
That is the most loaded millisecond of Sirius radio broadcasting.
I don't think so.
Oh, patooey.
I don't. What did you just say? Patooey? What are you? Okay, let me get this straight. So you're going to use expletives from 1930s comic strips, Tooey, but yet you haven't seen perhaps one of the most classic sitcoms from the 50s and early 60s.
I mean, in my defense, if it wasn't on Nick at Night, because Dennis the Menace, Miss Lassie, what else did I watch? The Monkees. There are a lot of things I watched. I was born in 78, so it's not like
I know when you were born. I get that. I get that, but your parents probably were watching it.
I'm going to text my mom just texted me. I'm going to ask her if she ever watched I Love Lucy.
I guarantee you your mother watched I Love Lucy. And certainly your grandmama did.
Stand by. Mom, I'm on the radio with Al.
855-355-4789.
Did you ever watch I Love Lucy? ?
You could have just called her at that point.
Because I audio,
Well, we're waiting for your mother to answer. We've already got a call.
Oh, yeah.
Eve from Atlanta. I'm assuming Eve's question is, how do you choose your outfits? So I'm assuming, Eve, this is directed at Chanel.
Or you.
Well, no, not really. It's actually directed at all of you. But however, I do need to chime in. First of all, I Love Lucy was, a classic and still is today. And it's certainly worth binge watching. And, the problem is that, back then, quote unquote, we had very few options to watch. We had very few channels to watch. There wasn't all this streaming and, 50 million shows to choose from. The one comedy back then, there was one great comedy at each era, and that was I Love Lucy, which was classic.
Yes.
For the movies, maybe it was, the Marx Brothers, whatever, but we didn't have that much option at that.
Although, Eve, I would say as we got into the 60s and the 70s, again, it was only 3 networks, really. But there were so many iconic comedies in the 70s. I mean, All in the Family, Mary Tyler Moore, Three's Company. You get into the 70s and then the 80s, you had Family Ties and Who's the Boss and, Mork and Mindy.
I liked Nanu Nanu.
It was called Mork and Mindy. It wasn't called Nanu Nanu. Anyway, Eve, your question about the outfits, what do you mean?
Well, I mean, it seems like, do you have a wardrobe to choose from? Al, you're always pretty sharp and sharply dressed yourself. Do you have a wardrobe that you choose from? I mean, how do you know that, today you're going to be in a blue suit, gray suit? Is this something that's just sitting there? And
good question.
Chanel, do you kind of go to a general wardrobe and go like, okay, this is what I'm wearing today? Because sometimes it looks like y'all are kind of coordinated.
Right. That's a very, very good question.
And I'll let Chanel start.
So I'll give you an example of my morning this morning.
Because that'll give me a chance to eat my sandwich, because this will be a while.
That sandwich looks so good. So this is the goodness to honest truth. We don't have anyone helping us plan what we're wearing day to day. We go to our closets like everybody else. And I always wait until the last second. And so this morning I woke up, I ate the kids' McDonald's for dinner last night. So I was feeling nice and bloated. And so I picked 3 dresses and nothing zipped or fit. And so I literally was running around in my closet, looking at the time, randomly grabbed, what did I end up wearing today? Oh, a random black dress. Because if in doubt.
Now, was this at home or at work?
So it was all at home right before I rushed out the door. So there's and sometimes we'll come to we'll sit down at the table and we'll go, oh my goodness, we're kind of coordinating, but there's no thought whatsoever. I think sometimes, you get in a role where let's say we all wore black, then you're probably not going to wear black the next day. So, it kind of, sometimes it just happens to be that way, but there's definitely no, except Al. Al probably.
No. Well, first, we have wardrobe people who help us, steam clothing, stuff like that.
Which
they
is
are
new
back
again,
after the pandemic. They've been gone. Savannah and Hoda, and you also must understand, Savannah and Hoda have a pretty good sized closet.
Yeah.
So they usually come in casual clothing in the morning, and then they kind of look at what each other's wearing. They may complement those colors or may go opposite. Craig comes in casual clothing, and he's got I don't know how many suits and sport coats in his closet. I am a believer in planning ahead. So I lay out everything the night before, and I come in that outfit as far as that the day of.
How do you not sweat?
I don't know. I wear deodorant.
Just because you wear deodorant doesn't mean you don't get hot and,
No, but what am I doing? I do bike in.
Yeah, you're on a bike.
But it's cool out. And so, Eve, I just the night before, shirt, tie, underwear, socks, shoes, jacket, down to the underwear. Everything is laid out so that I use the minimum amount of time getting dressed.
That's amazing.
I don't know if that answers your question.
Love it. Love that. I love that element of organization. It's perfect.
Yeah, I do well sometimes. Like usually the beginning of the week is better than the end of the week. Or if my Sunday was pretty calm, then I can kind of think through Monday and Tuesday. Or even
it also depends on if you've done your laundry.
100%, like 100%. So to me that's it's just the real world.
Well, Eve, thank you. I really appreciate your call.
Well.
And I hope it sounds like you're on the road. Where are you heading?
I am at my grandson's preschool, about to pick him up, and I start my second job. I've already worked this morning at my first job, which is being a physician, and now I'm doing my second job and taking care of the 3-year-old and the 5-month-old.
Wow, you are a doctor and a caregiver.
You got it.
Wow, hats off. Way to go, Eve.
That is really awesome. Where do you live? What city?
Lots of blessings.
Yeah, it sounds like the second job is the more preferable over the first, or at least more rewarding.
Yeah,
they're both rewarding.
There you go.
But in different ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome. That's
well, Eve, you take care and a happy early Thanksgiving.
So
Thank you. You too. My favorite holiday, by the way. And my favorite thing is my sweet potato casserole.
All right.
Ooh, yay. And Eve, just for you, I'm going to pick out my clothes tonight.
Okay, that sounds great. And listen, if you're ever in Atlanta, come on down. I'll serve you some of that sweet potato casserole.
Oh, man. All right, Eve. If you're in New York, I'll serve you a slice of sweet potato poon.
I will be up there. You take care.
Okay, bye-bye. Hey, we got Tracy from Virginia who's calling to say hi, and she says we have a connection. I'm curious. Hello, Tracy.
Hi, Al. The connection is St. Catherine's of Siena.
Oh.
My whole family, all four of us, went to St. Catherine.
St. Catherine of Siena is the elementary school I went to in Queens, Catholic elementary school I went to in Queens. So if I may ask, I don't know if we're allowed to ask your last name. Did I go to school with any of your siblings?
Well, I think you were ahead of my sister. Her name is Tanya Thompson.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I think I was in 8th grade when she was in 6th, I think.
Wow.
She graduated I graduated in 79. 75.
Mm-hmm.
I graduated in 75. I think she graduated. She's 6 years older. Maybe I shouldn't have said that.
That's okay.
But
all right. So she graduated in 70?
Yes.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah, something like that.
All right. Well, that's terrific.
Awesome.
You know,
they just had 69. She graduated in 69.
Oh, so she graduated only a year behind me then.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And they just had, matter of fact, her class just had a little virtual class reunion this weekend.
You know, I've been doing that with some of my classmates from 68. They call it the Library Club because a bunch of us got together at the St. Albans Public Library.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes after school on Linden Boulevard. Yeah.
What grade is this, guys?
Well, St. Catherine's went from kindergarten to 8th grade.
Right.
Catholic school.
And did you do all grades?
I did all grades. No, we moved there. I started in the 5th grade because we'd moved to Queens from Brooklyn. And so from 5th through 8th, did you have Mrs. Fryer?
Yes, I did. Yes,
wow.
I did.
Mrs. Fryer, Mrs. Fryer, I did a story on her. I think if you Google it, it's still You can find it on the Today Show website. But Eleanor Fryer was the first Black lay teacher in the Brooklyn Diocese in the early 1960s. She knew Lena Horne. Went to Martin Luther King Sr.'s Ebenezer Baptist Church, and had a thick Southern accent.
Wow.
Am I correct there, Tracy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm pretty sure you are.
Yeah. And she kind of, today she couldn't teach because she would have been called up on charges, but as being abusive, but she was able to, through love, cajoling, and intimidation, get the best out of us. So I was wearing glasses at the time, and I was having trouble with math. And she goes, "You mean to tell me with those 4 eyes of yours, you can't see the answer on that board? You know what your problem is, boy? You're a fathead." You know?
What?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, she was great. But we loved her dearly. I mean, she has since passed, but she was just a wonderful woman.
Wow.
Well, that's awfully. Thank you for walking me down memory lane there, Tracy. Really appreciate it.
I was just excited that I got on because, I normally listen to y'all on Sirius and just catch the reruns.
Mm-hmm.
But this morning, I'm listening to Sirius now, and they gave your number, and I said,
Yes.
I'm going to try calling in.
Well, thank you for doing that.
Glad you did.
Thank you. And happy early Thanksgiving, Tracy.
And you too.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today.
Let's go! International Day of the Girl.
The strength and courage of these women is remarkable.
What's your message to girls who want to make a difference?
Believe in yourself. You can make it happen.
Grab your apron for a new podcast, Cooking Up a Storm with Al Roker.
My forecast, yummy.
Some of the best chefs spill the beans on family secrets to get you ready for Thanksgiving.
This is fun. Bringing the heat for the holidays.
Follow now wherever you get your podcasts.
Today is now a podcast, available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Grab your apron for a new podcast, Cooking Up a Storm with Al Roker.
My forecast, yummy.
Some of the best chefs spill the beans on family secrets to get you ready for Thanksgiving.
This is fun. Bringing the heat for the holidays.
Listen now wherever you get your podcasts.
Is it easier to pass a bipartisan bill right now than it is to pass a Democrats-only bill? This supply chain issue has been a problem for months. Do you concur that this is going to get worse before it gets better? Are you concerned about the direction of your party? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Make the most of your day with Today All Day. Get closer to all your friends at Today in a whole new way.
Today in 30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
In a mere 30 minutes.
Shop today with Jill Martin.
We're helping you shop like never before.
The latest styles and biggest names. Today food. Things are heating up in the Today All Day kitchen. Cooking essentials and recipe inspiration.
Get ready. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Only on Today All Day.
Nearly a dozen hours after the eye roared ashore. There is some late-breaking news.
All right,
I just got a text from my mom. Speaking
Okay,
of
and what did Mom say?
my mom said, well, I said, Mom, have you ever heard
Did you watch I Love Lucy?
Yeah, because she said all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Love Lucy. And she said, and her husband Desi Arnaz, she says, I bought a wet red wig and I would wear the wig. That was the style. I said, well, how did you know it was red if it was in black and white?
Because she was famous for being a redhead.
I didn't know that. She said, saw colored pictures. Colored hair is not new, Chanel. Nothing new under the sun.
Wow. I like your mom. I mean, she gave you a nice answer, and then she kind of gave you a little smack on the side.
Oh, no. She just said there's nothing new under the sun.
Yeah.
Colored hair is not new. Why didn't you say it? I'm like, Mom, I didn't ask if it was new. I just said, did you watch it? I think I didn't know she was a famous redhead because, I didn't.
And of course, Nicole Kidman is going to be playing. Her. I forget. Is it Benicio del Toro? I can't remember who's playing.
Is it not out already?
No, not yet. It's coming out. Who is who's playing her husband? I can't remember who's playing her husband. But it's going to be interesting to see.
I want to see that. You know what I need to do is do what Eve said and binge watch a bunch of shows so I can really appreciate.
And what? Here's the other thing that a lot of people don't appreciate. She was a brilliant. She and Desi Arnaz. Now, Javier Bardem. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Were brilliant business people. They created. For example, the folk. They had a wildly successful radio program, and then they were I Love Lucy, and then they were going to move it to television. They wanted somebody else to play her husband, and she was adamant that no, he's going to play, because there'd never been in a sense, biracial couple.
Right.
On network television. And you got to remember, this is the 50s. And they held true. And they created their own studio, Desilu Productions, and then it became Desilu Studios. And they were responsible for some huge TV shows, including Gunsmoke and others. They were the ones who pioneered the 4-camera sitcom. You know, before all the sitcoms were filmed with a single camera, and then they'd edit it. They came up with the idea of having 4 cameras simultaneously, film the performance, and then edit it together. It was brilliant. It was just brilliant.
That's cool.
Yeah. We have Frances from North Carolina, who is joining us today. Hi, Frances.
Hi, Al. How are you today?
Doing great. And you?
I am well, thank you. I'm out for my afternoon walk. I usually take a walk while you guys are on, and I'm just glad that you guys are live today.
I know, we're good. We looked at Al. Sometimes we'll look over at each other in the morning. We say, we're doing this? Yep, let's do it. Where do you live?
I live right outside Winston-Salem, North Carolina. I land my lunch purposely around your show. So you guys are my entertainment while I do a 3-mile walk.
Very nice.
Wow. That's great.
Impressive.
That is impressive. Good for you.
Yeah, I called in to comment on Al's wardrobe selection because, Al, I grew up in a large family, and I do the exact same thing because I knew I had limited bathroom time in the morning.
Yes.
So even at this ripe old age, I still lay everything out the night before.
Well, and it to your point, Frances, I basically do that because if I wake Deborah up, it is there's hell to pay. So I get get into the bathroom. I hang my clothes up in the bathroom because I don't have like a closet. I mean, I have a closet, but it's the pass through between the bathroom and the bedroom. So I get everything in, I lay everything out, close the door, take care of my toilette, get dressed, and get out. So
how long does it take you? Soup to nuts?
10 minutes. In and out.
Oh, that's impressive.
No, you gotta move fast.
Gotcha. But I also had a comment for Chanel.
Yes, ma'am.
Chanel, my question for you is, you always mention your older son, Kyan, and you mentioned Clara, but you always talk about your younger son as your little guy.
You know what?
His name?
You know what? It's so funny you say that. You're right. And I never really noticed that I do that. And the other day I was with him at a birthday party. I call him my little guy and I call him my boy twin. And I've noticed that. And I think it's because my husband is Uche and he's Uche. They have the same name. And so around the house or when I'm talking about him to other people, for people who know me and our family, if I say Uche, they say, which one? His middle name is Christian. And we used to call him Christian. But then my husband felt some kind of way because I think he felt honored that his youngest Uche. So then we start calling him Uche again. But I was like, we're going to get to a point where he's not going to be little Uche anymore.
Well, so let me tell you, it's funny you say that. My sister, Elisa, her son, Andre, is named after his dad.
Okay.
And Andre is 34, same age as Courtney. And we still call him little Andre.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, still, and we still refer to Andre as Big Andre.
And everybody does that? I mean,
everybody does it. I mean, I'm probably not his friends, but anybody in the family.
Correct.
You know, hey, little Andre.
I'm conscious of it. So I think I just say, oh, my boy twin or little Uche or my youngest. And I call him my youngest all the time. And he thinks of himself as the youngest, even though he's only younger by 60 seconds. He has claimed that title as being like the youngest. And Clara claims her title as being the oldest and, oldest twin. It's so funny. That's a great observation.
That's funny.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Well, Frances, we really appreciate the call. We're going to take a break and we're going to let you finish your walk. But hope you have a great Thanksgiving.
Yeah, you inspire me, my friend.
And you guys as well.
All right.
For taking the time to talk with me today.
Anytime.
Absolutely.
Thank you for calling.
Go for it.
All right. Well, that was fun.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah. So we're going to take a little break and then we'll come back and hopefully take more of your calls. 855-355-4789. I'm Al.
As many people as we can. I'm Chanel.
Dylan's on maternity leave and you're listening to
Off
the Rails.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Let's go. You think you'll run for office one of these days?
I'm not saying no to anything.
Wow.
Welcome to Football Fright in America.
That was amazing.
Grab your apron for a new podcast, Cooking Up a Storm with Al Roker.
My forecast, yummy.
Some of the best chefs spill the beans on family secrets to get you ready for Thanksgiving.
This is fun. Bringing the heat for the holidays.
Listen now wherever you get your podcasts.
Nearly a dozen hours after the eye roared ashore. There is some late-breaking news.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Let's go. We're going to kick off the Pink Power and Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
What's the best thing about being this age? You have nothing to prove because you already proved it.
What does it feel like to be in a city that you love so much?
I am humbly proud that I stuck up for my town.
We all have the honor of helping reopen the doors.
Broadway is back.
Grab your apron for a new podcast, Cooking Up a Storm with Al Roker.
My forecast, yummy.
Some of the best chefs spill the beans on family secrets to get you ready for Thanksgiving.
This is fun. Bringing the heat for the holidays.
Listen now wherever you get your podcasts.
Is it easier to pass a bipartisan bill right now than it is to pass a Democrats-only bill? This supply chain issue has been a problem for months. Do you concur that this is going to get worse before it gets better? Are you concerned about the direction of your party? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Let's go. You think you'll run for office one of these days?
I'm not saying no to anything.
Wow.
Welcome to Football Fright in America.
That was amazing.
And welcome back. I'm Al.
I'm Chanel.
Dylan's on maternity leave and you're listening to Off the Rails. So I'm drinking, for those of you who are not watching on video, I have a little cocktail that I've made.
Good.
But it's in a sense a mocktail. I decided on November 1st to I realized during the pandemic I had started drinking more than I normally do, and by more I mean I started drinking. I mean I normally don't drink. I might have a rosé, something like that. Well, I started drinking a lot more. And we would get home. I'd get home around 5 o'clock. I'm making dinner and, start making a nice cocktail or, a little something, and then maybe we'd freshen that up. And then maybe at dinner, it's a rosé. And finally I said, this isn't good. So Deborah and I just kind of came to the conclusion we're going to try to do a dry November.
The whole month?
The whole month. And there's a store near us, and I guess these are popping up. It's a non-alcoholic beverage store. This one near us is called Boisson.
And they're beautiful.
Yes. And so this is an alcohol-free distilled tequila type drink with, some tequila mix in it and some club soda and a little lime juice. And so,
how's it taste?
It has the smokiness of the agave and all that. And,
so instead of tequila, what is fake tequila? Like, what does that even mean?
well, it's made out of agave and all, and the same some of the stuff mezcal, but it's not fermented, so there's no alcohol in it.
Okay. I've noticed one of those stores in the Village in New York, and I went in to get a bottle of wine because it looks like wine and liquor store. And I went in, and when she told me, I said, oh, and then I felt bad because I left. And now that I think about it, I'm like, well, that's horrible, Chanel. Like, why did you leave?
Well, because that's not what you wanted at the time.
No, I didn't really want
so,
that.
but I've got a, it's called White Cane Spirit. So it's kind of like a white rum. There's a dark cane, which kind of looks like, a dark rum. I've got a distilled spirit that looks like gin, but it has the flavor of gin, but none of the alcohol. I've got a bourbon kind of thing.
This is all from that store?
Well, it's all from that store.
You just have had a good time in there then.
Yeah, I went in. I thought, let me try these things. There's like a non-alcoholic Aperol spritz kind of drink, and you pour in club soda, and it's like you're having an Aperol. You just don't get buzzed. I'm
convinced with Aperol spritz that it depends on your taste buds, because I am not 90%, not 95%. I am 100% sure if it tasted to you the way it tastes to me, you would have nothing to do with it. And people love it. Yes. So that's why I think our taste buds are different.
They are.
No, I mean, there's no way. It was sour and awful.
Maybe somebody made you a bad one.
You made it.
Oh, there you go. Well, that's that. But everybody else.
You didn't make it. Our team made it on the show.
Yeah.
Jerry made it.
Everybody else liked it.
Everybody loved it. I said something's wrong with me.
There you go. Well, we know two things can be true.
Oh, hush. Let's take some callers, shall we?
How about Judy from Indiana?
Judy.
It says Judy grew up in the same town. I'm wondering if she means me or you.
Let's see.
I am so excited. I can't hardly even talk.
Oh, wow.
I'm just outdone because I love you and Chanel and Savannah and Hoda and Craig more than anything in the whole wide world.
Oh.
I just love the Today Show. And I just said to my husband yesterday, I said, the only thing in the world I love more than being a lawyer is if I could just be on the Today Show.
Wow. All right. So we know you're an attorney. Now, this is good. And in the note, it says you grew up in the same town. The same town as who?
Yes, I was actually born in Brooklyn, but I was raised in St. Albans.
Oh.
And I went to PS 15, which is off of 120th Avenue and Linden Boulevard.
Yes.
And every time you talk about St. Catherine, I tell my friends how they had the best dances for young teens. And if you could go to the St. Catherine of Siena dances, then you knew you were popular and just grown.
Yeah, sadly, I never really went because I wasn't popular. But I digress, Judy, and thank you for bringing up a painful childhood memory. I really appreciate that.
You can appreciate this because my parents are West Indian, and I know that you are also. My father used to come and pick me up from the dance, and when they would announce on the loudspeaker, "Judy, your father's outside waiting for you," and I would be so embarrassed.
Well, it was from a good place.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is awesome. So school dances, huh?
Yes, school dances. They started like at about 7 or 8, and they were over at 10, 11 o'clock.
Yep.
But most of the kids got to stay longer. But my father, would be outside waiting for me.
Well,
but look how great you turned out. So
that's right. How did you end up in Indiana?
I went to law school out here in Valparaiso.
All right. Well, this is like old home week. Well, thank you so much. It's so nice to hear from you.
Thank you for letting me on. Chanel, I want to meet you too because you just rock and you have rhythm And I just love you all so much. I was one other thing. I was actually in the Macy's parade because I went to Syracuse and I was in the marching band and we marched in the parade my freshman year.
Oh, well, very cool. There's another little connection almost. I went to school in Oswego, but I worked in Syracuse at Channel 5.
Yes, you did. I know that they're like neighboring cities.
There you go. Well, wow. Judy, thank you so much for the call.
Thank
really
you.
Appreciate it.
Oh, thank you for taking me. And if I get home around the holidays, I will be outside on the plaza screaming for you all.
Well, bring us a sign. Bring a sign so we know who you are. And thank you. And have a great Thanksgiving, Judy.
And you also take care and tell everyone that we love them out here in Indiana.
Well, thank you.
Oh, we will.
That's awfully nice. Wow.
Nice.
Look at that. Look at that.
Anybody else want to call from Al's classroom in 4th grade?
Wow. My gosh.
That's amazing.
Well, let's move a little further west and south to Arkansas. And we've got Sarah. Good afternoon, Sarah.
Al Roker and Chanel Jones. Oh, hello.
Hi.
Well, we're doing well. How are you today?
Fabulous now that I get to talk to y'all because I listen to Sirius XM. I've got my number one station is the Today Show.
All right.
Radio. And I'm a huge fan of you guys and just wanted to let you know how much joy that y'all bring. And I absolutely love how candid y'all are between each other on this radio station and how much grief Al gives Chanel. There's got to be way more love than the actual grief in order for you to take it so well, Chanel.
Sometimes I think I'm developing a nervous twitch. I'm damaged.
Well, she's my little sister, so this is the relationship, and so it works well. And by the way, by the way, Sarah, she gives as good as she gets. So don't worry about Miss Chanel.
No doubt about that. I did want to just let y'all know I had actually been in contact with a Today Show food contributor, Miss Elizabeth Haskell.
Oh.
Not too long ago, I was listening to Hoda's show and heard about how Elizabeth had a mother with dementia, and I work with the elderly and the senior population, and was fortunate enough to have her be a guest on our podcast. And so it was amazing, and you guys have just given me so much you don't even know about. And I just wanted to say thank you, and that you guys are awesome. Keep doing everything you're doing because it works. And
thank you so much.
So many people.
Well, thank you, Sarah. That's very sweet of you. Thank you.
That's so nice.
And Al, I have to tell you, in the mornings when I'm getting ready, I have 3 boys, and I always have the Today Show on in the morning if I'm, doing makeup or doing breakfast. And my boys absolutely love your glasses and your enthusiasm about football, and think you would be like the coolest uncle on earth.
Well, that's awfully nice.
I've got 3 boys in Arkansas that could possibly be your biggest fan.
Well, that's nice.
So nice.
Well, if you guys are heading north and east, let us know and bring a sign and hang out at the plaza.
Absolutely. Thank y'all so much.
All right, you have a great day. Happy Thanksgiving. Well, that's nice.
That's so nice.
Well, just bringing a little sunshine and joy wherever we go.
It's nice to be with. I will say, she mentioned Hoda, and there are times where if I'm filling in with Hoda, sometimes I look forward to the commercial breaks because then I get to hear like what's on her mind for the day. There was one day a couple weeks ago where she was like, my theme is be present today. She's like, when I take a shower and I'm, the water, I put on my lotion, like everything, I'm just present. When I'm with the kids, I'm present. And I was like, oh, this is so good. I'm like, oh man, we have to go back to the show because I was really enjoying the commercial break. But I say this to say that I feel like the people that we work with, everybody's trying to be better. Like, always in this pursuit of, trying to be better. And I don't take that for granted that we're surrounded by folks who just want the best for people. They genuinely do,
Yeah,
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today.
Let's go! International Day of the Girl.
The strength and courage of these women is remarkable.
What's your message to girls who want to make a difference?
Believe in yourself. You can make it happen.
Today is now a podcast available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
News is more than a headline. It informs, it inspires, and it still matters. To cover it, you have to be in it. And that's what we're going to do. Every night, we take you to the front lines of the story, where it's actually happening, with NBC News journalists on the ground from all over the world. We cover what you need to know and bring your newsfeed to life in prime time and streaming live. It's your news playlist every night.
Top Story with Tom Llamas, weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now.
Is it easier to pass a bipartisan bill right now than it is to pass a Democrats-only bill? This supply chain issue has been a problem for months. Do you concur that this is going to get worse before it gets better? Are you concerned about the direction of your party? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Today is now a podcast available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
News is more than a headline. It informs, it inspires, and it still matters. To cover it, you have to be in it. And that's what we're going to do. Every night, we take you to the front lines of the story, where it's actually happening, with NBC News journalists on the ground from all over the world. We cover what you need to know and bring your newsfeed to life in prime time and streaming live. It's your news playlist every night.
Top Story with Tom Llamas, weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now.
Grab your apron for a new podcast, Cooking Up a Storm with Al Roker.
My forecast, yummy.
Some of the best chefs spill the beans on family secrets to get you ready for Thanksgiving.
This is fun. Bringing the heat for the holidays.
Listen now wherever you get your podcasts.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
We got Rebecca from California with a viewing suggestion for you, Chanel.
Ooh,
good morning or good afternoon. Well, for you guys,
Hi.
I guess it's good morning, Rebecca.
Well, good morning and good afternoon to you.
Thank you.
I was just listening to your. By the way, just love you guys, and just please give my congratulations to Dylan on
Yes.
her new baby.
We will.
I just absolutely enjoy you guys all the time. You're awesome, but
Well, that's very nice.
That's so nice.
if it wasn't for Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz, we would not have the Star Trek franchise, nor would we have reruns.
In what way?
They were the ones that pioneered the whole process of reruns, and their Desilu Productions was the one that they actually foot the bill for Star Trek.
Interesting. And I knew about the reruns, but I didn't know about Star Trek.
I'll have to go back, and you guys are really selling it. I gotta go back and watch.
You know what? She was a woman way ahead of her time, and she brought all kinds of different processes to the production and the aspect, because there were no women who were in her position.
Yep.
So she was awesome. She was just phenomenally awesome. But I happened to watch a special that had to do with Star Trek, but they said, but before Star Trek, we have to go to the beginning. And they talked all about Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz, and even after their subsequent divorce, how they still continue to keep Desilu Productions. And eventually, Paramount bought Desilu Productions, so they bought the franchise of Star Trek, and as they say, the rest is history.
That's interesting. I didn't know that. I have to figure out where I can even watch episodes.
Well, I'm sure you can if all you have to do is Google "Watch I Love Lucy" and it'll pop up wherever you.
That's funny. All we have to do is Google. Like, what did we do before Google? My goodness.
We looked in the newspaper and went down the TV grid.
Yeah.
Or we looked in TV Guide.
My grandmother still uses the one that comes in, I guess it still comes in the paper. It's like with the grid.
I don't even know. Do they still print that?
I don't know if it's in the paper or TV Guide, but she has it.
I think TV Guide still exists.
Maybe it's TV Guide with the highlighter. She has the whole.
I don't think. Rebecca, do you remember? I don't know. Maybe we're around the same age, but you would wait for the fall preview edition of the TV Guide. It was like 2 times as thick as the regular one, and it had all the stories about what shows were coming out, and the Saturday morning cartoons that were going to be coming out. I waited for that like it was like Moses coming down with the tablets.
Not Moses.
Yep, I'm in that grade. I'm 65, and I remember a lot of the stuff and the B coming out on the TV, and the after a certain time that was it. You had no TV, and back in the day.
Wait, a bee coming out of what comes out on the TV?
It was a signal that indicated it was the last of the show, and you just got this thing, and I think it was like ABC. They actually had a little bee that would come buzzing in, and then it would be like, okay, that's it, no more TV after this.
Yeah, each network was different, and local station, and stations used to actually sign off. They played the Star Spangled Banner, and then there was just a test pattern and tone. Wow. And then, you turn. So if you turn the TV on like before 6 a.m. when I was growing up, when I was 5 or 6, there was just and the test pattern. And
I do remember the test pattern.
And then, all of a sudden we begin our broadcast day and they play the Star Spangled Banner again, and away you went. So back in the day.
Good times.
Well, thank you. That was another great show. Rebecca, you have a great day and a happy early Thanksgiving.
The same to you. Blessings to all of you.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Let's go. We're going to kick off the Pink Power and Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
What's the best thing about being this age? You have nothing to prove because you already proved it.
What does it feel like to be in a city that you love so much?
I am humbly proud that I stuck up for my town.
We all have the honor of helping reopen the doors.
Broadway is back!
Nearly a dozen hours after the Eye roared ashore. There is some late-breaking news.
All right,
Today is now a podcast, available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
News is more than a headline. It informs, it inspires, and it still matters. To cover it, you have to be in it. And that's what we're going to do. Every night, we take you to the front lines of the story, where it's actually happening, with NBC News journalists on the ground from all over the world. We cover what you need to know and bring your newsfeed to life. In prime time and streaming live, it's your news playlist every night.
Top Story with Tom Llamas, weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now. Make the most of your day with Today All Day. Get closer to all your friends at Today in a whole new way.
Today in 30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Shop today with Jill Martin.
We're helping you shop like never before.
The latest styles and biggest names. Today Food.
Things are heating up in the Today All Day kitchen.
Cooking essentials and recipe inspiration.
Get ready. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Only on Today All Day.
Cooking up a storm with Al Roker, a Thanksgiving feast and a podcast. Listen now.
Holly Palmieri is manning or personing the phone lines. Brian is manning the dials, personing the dials, crewing the dials, attending to the dials.
And everybody's doing it from home, which is, to me, impressive.
Yes.
The power of technology.
Anyway. In fact, I was going to say, but are there times, other than the being able to see each other and the camaraderie, do you miss broadcasting from home?
I miss South Carolina. Mm-hmm. I miss broadcasting from home when the kids were home and not feeling any guilt because we didn't have anywhere else to go. And so we were all able to just be together I mean, for us to eat dinner for almost 5 months in a row every night at the table, was huge for our family because we just, don't, in the city, everybody's going all over the place. So I miss, that was the silver lining of, I don't miss turning green. My screen would, and like the nerves I had before every show that the Wi-Fi was going to go out.
Because you had really crappy internet.
We were in 4 different Airbnbs. And the first Airbnb we were there, they had fiber. And so I was spoiled. I didn't realize that was why my signal was so great. So then when we moved to the next house, first of all, imagine getting into an Airbnb and then I have to, hopefully they don't say, no, you can't stay here when I say, do you mind if I broadcast from your living room with your fireplace in the background or something? Like, you know what I mean? Like it was always very uncomfortable for me to ask that question, but I had to, obviously. I didn't want them randomly watching the Today Show one day and they're like, wait, isn't that my painting? Like, is she in my house?
Yeah. Well, we know she.
And everyone I didn't have any problems. All 4, they were thrilled.
Yeah, they probably jacked up the prices for their Airbnb after you left. Hey, seen on the Today Show.
They were thrilled. One lady, and then, 2 times the people arrived unannounced early before it was time.
Oh, wait, so the next group of renters?
No, it would be the owners who would.
Oh, the owners.
Casually stop by to have something, so they just wanted to come by and say hi. So that was, but it was all good. It was an adventure. I digress.
So tonight, and it's funny because Nick is 19. In fact, Thursday we're going on another college trip. And we're very fortunate, got an invitation for this evening for the Christmas Spectacular, Radio City Music Hall Christmas Spectacular. It's back. And I just assumed, I figured, okay, I'll run this by him, but I know he's not going to want to go. And I said, hey, bud, so do you want to go to the Christmas Spectacular? Yeah. Oh, okay. And he kind of rationalized it. Well, this is my last year before I go to college that I'll be able to go. And so it's like, oh, okay, end of an era. I've been going to this thing probably, let's see, Courtney's 34. So I've been going to this thing for 33 years.
What time does it start?
31 years. Well, it's interesting. Well, tonight it starts at 7:30. But, and I don't know if the schedule is the same now since the pandemic, but in pre-pandemic, there were days on the weekends in the heart of the Christmas season, they do 5 shows a day.
Oh my goodness.
Like they were rotating Rockettes, but yeah, they would do like 5 shows a day.
See, now I feel bad because I was going to take Clara and then now I'm not. Oh, next year.
Well, yeah. Let's see.
Because I had tickets. I was going to go too. Mm-hmm. You know what? I haven't taken her to that and I haven't taken the kids to see the Nutcracker.
What?
I know.
You haven't taken them to the Nutcracker?
No, they've never seen it. I don't know how.
Yeah, I know how you didn't take them.
Well, I know, but yeah.
Although wait, forgive me, because Uche could take them just as easily. So
that is true. It would never cross his mind to do that. Like that is not in his mental zeitgeist in any way.
I got into a whispering, shouting match with a woman at the Nutcracker
What does that even mean?
Okay, so I've got Leela and 5 of her buddies. They're about 6, maybe 7, I think, but more like 6. It was a matinee. So we're watching the Nutcracker and the girls are giggling and, you know what it's like with 6, 7-year-olds. And this woman behind me taps me on the shoulder. And at first I didn't pay attention. I thought somebody brushed me by accident. Anyway, the tap again. I kind of lean, yes. And the woman says, you should control your kids. I said, what? She goes, we're trying to enjoy this show. And I finally turned around. I said, ma'am, with all due respect, it's the Nutcracker and a matinee. Look around you. You're surrounded by children. If you wanted to go to a serious ballet, why are you here? And she said, this is serious. I said, I understand. It's for kids. Shut up.
You did not.
I did. I was furious. And she said, I'm going to find an usher. I said, you go do that.
Wait, that is the most hilarious. You're such an interesting man. Because you will do that in a minute. Like if someone you just don't put up with
Don't come for my kids. Even though only one of them was my kid.
I know, right?
But it's like, how are you upset that kids are squealing at the Nutcracker? It's the Nutcracker. It would be like, oh my gosh, these kids are laughing at a SpongeBob movie.
Absolutely. Please, I took my kids to Simone Biles this weekend. They're all screaming.
Of course they are.
Stop screaming for Simone. It's like they're kids, and
I was like, and
that's funny.
And I could just tell she just was furious, and I'm like, please.
So Al, do you ever worry that somebody's going to be like, that was Al Roker, and he?
No, I don't. No, because to me, it's like it's my kids. And look, she probably, I'm sure, went back and told people what a jerk I was, if she even knew who I was. I mean, it's kind of dark, but it's like, no, stop. There's kids. It'd be one thing. It'd be one thing if they were jumping around and acting. They were literally, these are 5 girls, 6-7-year-old girls, who are just enjoying. Especially when the woman comes out. The part Craig played in the South
with
Carolina,
the little rosy cheeks,
with the show, and they've got the. It's the
kids
person and the kids come running out from underneath. They all just thought that was the greatest thing ever. No, don't try to steal my kids' joy. I will.
Oh wait, that is good. That's good. You know what? I will always remember that story.
There you go.
Don't tell kids.
We've got just a little bit more time. 855-355-4789 if you want to try to slip in under the wire. Have to take a little bit of a break. I'm Al.
I'm Chanel.
Dylan's on maternity leave, and you're listening to
Off the Rails.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today.
Let's go.
You think you'll run for office one of these days?
I'm not saying no to anything.
Wow.
Welcome to Football Fright in America.
That was amazing.
Make the most of your day with Today All Day. Get closer to all your friends at Today in a whole new way.
Today in 30.
We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
In a mere 30 minutes.
Shop today with Jill Martin.
We're helping you shop like never before.
The latest styles and biggest names. Today Food.
Things are heating up in the Today All Day kitchen.
Cooking essentials and recipe inspiration.
Get ready. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Only on Today All Day.
People really don't know what's going to happen. Nearly a dozen hours after the eye roared ashore. More good people than bad people, right? 5 seconds. 4, 3. There is some late-breaking news 4 hours into the Iowa caucuses by the Hammond deliberations.
All right, it just did too.
This isn't about spending going forward. This is about spending that's already happened. Do you accept the idea that we have a crisis at the border? The vaccine mandate. Is this going to work, or is this going to backfire?
If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Make the most of your day with Today All Day. Get closer to all your friends at Today in a whole new way.
Today in
30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
In a mere 30 minutes.
Shop today with Jill Martin.
We're helping you shop like never before.
The latest styles and biggest names. Today Food.
Things are heating up in the Today All Day kitchen.
Cooking essentials and recipe inspiration.
Get ready. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Only on Today All Day.
It's been a terrific Off the Rails. And if you get a chance, go to your local Nutcracker and support the arts this holiday season. Because
absolutely. It's my favorite field trip growing up. This is the Nutcracker.
That's right. And you've deprived your children of it. That's wonderful. Well, I'm Al.
I'm Chanel.
Dylan's on maternity leave, and you've been listening to
Off the Rails.
so happy that you're spending your Thursday with us here on Today All Day. This is Popstar Plus, where you can find out what the heck is going on in the world of entertainment. We've got a great lineup for you today. Lin-Manuel Miranda stopped by Studio 1A to talk about directing his newest movie musical. And we have a visit from the Queen of Christmas herself, Candace Cameron Bure, previewing her latest Hallmark film. But first, let's get to Popstar. First up, Adele. We're less than 24 hours away from the release of that highly anticipated new album, 30. And in its anticipation of the dropping of that record, Adele's sharing a sneak peek at one of the new tracks, get the Kleenex, to be... Let me tell you what's telling about that moment that you're looking at is 99% of vocalists that I know or have worked with in a house, you go sing a song like this in the bathroom. You go into the shower because of the acoustics. I mean, that's like the fact that Adele just sits in her living room and can just belt that thing out and it sounds that good. Like, wow,
crazy.
Yeah, it's a superhuman.
Beautiful. When's the rest of it coming out?
Comes out midnight tomorrow. Okay. So you can
and she's going to release it from her kitchen.
Yeah. Next up, time to get in the holiday spirit. We're talking about the annual Christmas at Rockefeller Center tree lighting. And while we wait for our beautiful tree to get all decked out, we can announce the all-star studded lineup here. It's happening in 2 weeks. Wednesday, December 1st, Carrie Underwood, Mickey Guyton, Harry Connick Jr., Brad Paisley. I'm just going to tease it. I'm just going to name a few of them. Some of the big names that'll be rocking around the Christmas tree, of course. We'll be joined again by the iconic Radio City Rockettes. The big holiday tradition, if I haven't said it, is December 1st, 8 p.m. here on NBC with some hosts you're familiar with, Savannah, Hoda, Uncle Al, and Craig.
Cool.
And we look forward to that.
It's going to be fun.
Always great. Next up, Thomas Rhett. It's a full house for the country music superstar. Overnight, Rhett shared on social media that he and his lovely wife, Lauren, have welcomed their, count 'em, fourth daughter into the world. Rhett saying, "Lauren Akins, you are my hero. Watching a child being born is legit a miracle. 4 under 6.
Wow.
Here we go.
Ouch.
Baby Lily Carolina Atkins, born this past Monday, coming in at 7.5 pounds of pure joy. Big sisters Willa Gray, Ada James, and Lennon Love, great names, sending some big love, and we are sending our congratulations out to Thomas and Lauren and their beautiful family this morning. It's very cool. Finally, Jennifer Lopez and Owen Wilson, the two star in the new upcoming rom-com Marry Me, and in the movie, J-Lo's a singer, there's a stretch. On stage, when she finds out she's been cheated on by her man, played by Latin music sensation Maluma, that's when she spots a cute guy in the audience, that's played by Owen Wilson, holding a Marry Me sign, and decides to accept his proposal right then and there on the spot. We have an exclusive look at the film's trailer, which does drop today. And of course, our very own Hoda has a cameo. Take a look.
Superstar Kat Valdez and Grammy-winning Bastian will exchange vows in front of the whole world.
What's everybody looking at?
Bastian caught cheating.
Why not? I'll marry you.
Uh-oh, what happens then?
Dad, that's you. Dad,
How does it end?
Wow. Well, I cannot tell, but continue.
Hoda, you had a chance to chat with the 3 big stars about the project and started by asking J-Lo what it's like having her character playfully poke fun at being married multiple times.
Excuse me. Oh, snap.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if you can't laugh at yourself and just take it as it comes, I just don't think about those things. You know, I feel like I'm a human being like everybody else. I've had my ups and downs. I've made mistakes, and I'm really proud of where I've come to in my life and who I am as a person, as a mom, and as an actor, and as an artist. So yeah, it's okay. Everybody's got that.
Y'all had great chemistry, I have to say. How many times have you guys worked together before this movie?
We did Anaconda back in the day.
That's right.
That was the only other time.
Yeah, I think it's just Anaconda, and we had to prove that the chemistry we had in that wasn't just a fluke. And I think we've done it, but you be the judge.
I loved Owen's face when she was answering that question about being married multiple times.
Yeah, she's like, hello.
Slowly sliding out of frame.
He was.
He's like, how do I get out of here?
Also, check out what J-Lo had to say about possibly saying I do in the future.
All right, your turn, Jennifer. Those 2 words.
For what?
The 2 words, marry me, are those 2 words you would like to hear in the future?
Marry me, say yes. I don't know. Yeah, I guess. I mean, you know me, I'm a romantic. I always have been. I've been married a few times. Yeah, I still believe in happily ever after, for sure. 100%.
Well, she said yes. There it is.
Sounds like
that was Maluma, by the way.
Took a minute.
She
got there. She said yes. Yeah.
Of course, you can see that full conversation coming up on the 4th hour. Marry Me is out this Valentine's Day, and check out the full trailer at today.com. All right, and how about a few extra headlines, because it is Pop Start Plus after all. First up, Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, is sitting down for her first talk show interview since exiting the royal family earlier this year. Joining Ellen DeGeneres at her Warner Brothers studio, the former Suits actress reveals the unique way that she used to exit that same studio lot back when she would go out on auditions.
So your car that you used to drive to auditions was a very special car.
Yes, it had a life of its own. So I had this very, very old Ford Explorer Sport, and at a certain point, the key stopped working on the driver's side, so you couldn't get yourself in through the door. So after auditions, I would park at the back of the parking lot, and I would open the trunk and climb in, and then pull it shut behind me and crawl over all my seats to get out. That's how I would come to and fro.
She will never have to do that again. You can catch more of this interview today on Ellen. Next up, Mariah Carey, the Queen of Christmas, has unveiled the trailer for her highly anticipated holiday spectacular called Mariah's Christmas. The magic continues. Take a look.
The one, the only Mariah Carey.
Mariah is back with an all-new holiday special event. Featuring Khalid and Kirk Franklin.
I can't not celebrate Christmas with the world.
Mariah's Christmas.
Looking good. So we got a taste of that new single, Fall in Love at Christmas, earlier this month. The special's going to feature the first and only performance of that new song, as you saw with Khalid and Kirk Franklin. Mariah's Christmas, the magic continues. That will debut globally, by the way, Friday, December 3rd, over on Apple TV+. Those are your today's Pop Start Plus headlines. Coming up next, Hamilton creator Lin-Manuel Miranda tells us what it was like directing for the first time.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today.
Let's go.
We're going to kick off the Pink Power and Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
What's the best thing about being this age?
You have nothing to prove, because you already proved it.
What does it feel like to be in a city that you love so much?
I am humbly proud that I stuck up for my town.
We all have the honor of helping reopen the doors.
Broadway is back!
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today.
Let's go.
We're going to kick off the Pink Power and Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
What's the best thing about being this age?
You have nothing to prove, because you already proved it.
What does it feel like to be in a city that you love so much?
I am humbly proud that I stuck up for my town.
We all have the honor of helping reopen the doors.
Broadway is back!
Cooking up a storm with Al Roker, a Thanksgiving feast and a podcast. Listen now.
The Meet the Press Chuck Todd Cast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
And welcome back to Pop Start Plus. The incredibly talented Lin-Manuel Miranda is best known as the creator and star of the Broadway musicals Hamilton and In the Heights. Now he's directed a new movie musical about the life of the late Jonathan Larson, who wrote the musical Rent. Here's our conversation with Lin-Manuel.
Lin-Manuel Miranda is a Broadway legend, known, of course, for his hits Hamilton and In the Heights.
Well, now he's bringing the stage to the big screen. It's his feature film directorial debut. It's called Tick, Tick, Boom. It's based on the autobiographical musical, focusing on the life of Rent composer Jonathan Larson. And Lin-Manuel, it is so good to see you.
Love having you here. Good to see you.
In the flesh. It's been like a pandemic since we've seen you.
I know, it's nice to see you guys.
Well, this is getting rave reviews. I can only imagine how exciting, exhilarating, and relieving that is, because not only is it your first time being a director, this show means so much to you personally.
Yeah.
this story means so much to you personally.
Yeah, absolutely. I saw the off-Broadway version of Tick, Tick, Boom when I was 21 years old. I was a senior in college. It was the month after the events of September 11th, and I was a theater major, and what do I have to offer the world? And here's this early musical from the guy who inspired me to write musicals in the first place, Jonathan Larson. And it was just sort of like, it's hard. It was like a personal message about telling what you're trying to do is very difficult, but if you're okay with the world not noticing and you're just doing it because you love it, like it was a very clarifying experience for me, and so it means the world to be able to bring it to the screen.
And even at 17, you sat in the back row and watched Rent. I mean, Rent was the thing that just moved you to your core and kind of propelled you into this, didn't it?
It was the most diverse cast I'd ever seen on Broadway. It gave me hope I could be on Broadway one day. It was the most contemporary music I'd ever heard. It was about artists sort of struggling to survive, and it just felt, it felt like, oh, you're allowed to make a musical as personal as any other art form, and it's what got me writing.
Everyone says how hard it is to bring theater to film. And it is, and you actually took it from, it started as a one-man show, then it was a three-person show, and then through film, you've been able to expand this world even more. How fun was that?
It was really fun, and it was really exciting because to take Tick, Tick, Boom off the stage and into the screen, you get to go to New York in 1990. You get, I was a kid who grew up in the city. Like, I remember that time very well. And, Scott Schwartz and David Auburn did such an amazing job with the three-person version that I saw off Broadway. That was starring the brilliant Raul Esparza. I have the incredible Andrew Garfield just embodying Jonathan Larson. We were able to film on location in the places that meant so much to the real Jonathan.
You picked Andrew Garfield, and you had no idea whether he could sing. In fact, he said that you asked him, like, if he wanted to be in it, and could he sing, and could he play the piano. He gave you a yes because he knew it would be a year until filming.
It was like a yes-ish, the way he tells the story, like, well, and when it's time to film, I will be able to.
Were you concerned, like maybe he couldn't?
No, I wasn't concerned at all. I saw him in Angels in America and was just like, that guy can do anything. He's just had his heart open to us for 8 hours straight. It's such a feat of endurance. I knew I needed someone who lived and breathed the theater to play this role because Jonathan lived and breathed the theater, and Andrew just embodied all of that.
But still, I mean, that's a big bet to place on someone even that you admire so much. Andrew told, first of all, he sings incredibly well. Like, it's actually not fair. Now he has too many talents. You're almost angry about it.
I'm starting the Andrew Garfield for Fiyero and Wicked.
I mean, it's insane. But he told this funny story. He was here earlier this week that you had snuck into one of his rehearsals with his vocal coach. He didn't even know you were there, and he's singing and practicing. And all of a sudden, he said he sees a shoe fly toward him. And it was your shoe.
What was that?
And what does that mean? Like, what is the Lin-Manuel shoe?
That started with the In the Heights cast years ago. That's when someone sings.
Yes.
You, like, the only thing left to do is just throw your shoe or put it on the table. Like, you ate it. You destroyed it. I just saw you give your shoes to complete strangers in the street.
Favorite part of the show.
I was doing the Lin-Manuel. I was like, you're great.
If not Andrew, then who? Like, if he was not able
I had no plan B.
You didn't?
No, I knew that if I gave him, when I asked him if he could sing, he said, that's a part of myself I've always wanted to explore but haven't had the chance to. And I knew if he was excited about doing it and I gave him the time and the resources, he would rise to the occasion, because he always has.
I just, like, Lynn, we feel so connected to you because, like, before Hamilton and after Hamilton, and just this beautiful journey that you've been on. But how exciting to see you try something totally new.
Yeah.
And was that terrifying?
Well, it's terrifying now. It's funny, as you're making the movie, you're just making a lot of decisions. As the director, you're the final decision maker. And so, I was just thinking, like, honoring Jonathan Larson, what would Jonathan Larson do every step of the way? But your personal stuff seeps into those decisions. I remember showing the movie to one of my best friends, Kiara, who wrote In the Heights with me. She saw the first rough cut, and they cut to John's apartment, and she goes, Lynn, that's your bedroom. That's exactly what your bedroom looked like at 25. And I just was like, oh my God, this movie's so personal. And it's like, without my realizing it, in a lot of ways, it's the most personal thing I've ever made.
It is. There's multiple layers to it. It's really exciting. Congratulations
Thank you, Lynn.
to you.
Thanks for coming.
How are those little boys?
They are fantastic. I did freestyle with Jimmy last night, and so my son was testing me this morning with Pokemon cards. He was like, rhyme Jigglypuff, Mewtwo, and I was just like, this is way harder.
That is a real challenge.
Really
All those
cool.
names, Pikachu, Charmander, I know. We're in the Pokemon phase ourselves.
Just going through the folder, getting stumped.
Thanks, Lynn.
Always love when Lynn stops by. This guy's great. Coming up, we've got the star of Full House. You know her, you love her, Candace Cameron Bure, getting very competitive in her newest Hallmark holiday movie.
This isn't about spending going forward. This is about spending that's already happened. Do you accept the idea that we have a crisis at the border? The vaccine mandate. Is this going to work, or is this going to backfire? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Grab your apron for a new podcast, Cooking Up a Storm with Al Roker.
My forecast, yummy.
Some of the best chefs spill the beans on family secrets to get you ready for Thanksgiving.
This is fun. Bringing the heat for the holidays.
Follow now wherever you get your podcasts. For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app. Grab your apron for a new podcast, Cooking Up a Storm with Al Roker.
My forecast, yummy.
Some of the best chefs spill the beans on family secrets to get you ready for Thanksgiving.
This is fun. Bringing the heat for the holidays.
Follow now wherever you get your podcasts.
Nearly a dozen hours after the eye roared ashore. There is some late-breaking news.
All right, it is
Cooking Up a Storm with Al Roker, a Thanksgiving feast and a podcast. Listen now.
News is more than a headline. It informs, it inspires, and it still matters. To cover it, you have to be in it. And that's what we're gonna do. Every night, we take you to the front lines of the story, where it's actually happening, with NBC News journalists on the ground from all over the world. We cover what you need to know and bring your newsfeed to life. In primetime and streaming live, it's your news playlist every night.
Top Story with Tom Llamas, weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now.
This isn't about spending going forward. This is about spending that's already happened. Do you accept the idea that we have a crisis at the border? The vaccine mandate. Is this going to work, or is this going to backfire? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press. The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast. Free wherever you get your podcasts.
And welcome back to Popstar Plus. So Candace Cameron Bure now has, count them, 10 Hallmark Christmas movies under her belt, and my sister has seen all of them. Of course, she was DJ Tanner on the beloved 90s sitcom Full House and its Netflix reboot, Fuller House. And she's drawing on that Fuller House experience in her latest Hallmark movie, The Christmas Contest. Take a look.
So Laura, let me think. Oh my gosh, this is my 10th Christmas movie. I'm like, wait, what job do I have in this one? She works for an advertising company. I can't remember.
I'm Laura, otherwise known as Slay the Competition.
So I'm starring in the Christmas contest this year, and I play Laura, who enters a Christmas contest for charity, but doesn't realize that her ex, as in like longtime ex-boyfriend, is also a contestant in this Christmas contest. So it's a very competitive rom-com because there's a lot more at stake for these two competitors than just winning a contest. There's a lot about love.
So, we're both here.
Yeah, both Christmas contest competitors.
She is a very, very competitive person. She has this great relationship with her mom, and her mom is played by Barbara Niven. And she's a Hallmark staple as well. But she really gets her drive because of her mom. Her mom has pushed her to be the best, to be competitive, to win at all costs. And so she's a very motivated, driven woman. But in the process, she learns that that's not really what life should be all about. So her mom needs to learn a little lesson too. I can pretty much relate to everything Laura. I too am a very competitive person. I literally was repeating lines to myself at times of like, oh, I have to remember that in my competitive nature. And sometimes when we're very driven people, we can be extremely hard on ourselves. And sometimes that's a really good thing, but sometimes we need to give ourselves a break. And at Christmas time, we all need a break.
Do you two know each other?
My favorite part of the whole movie really is that I got to work with John Brotherton again. He played Matt on Fuller House. So this was more than just a reunion movie. I think this is the movie for all of the Fuller House fans that were Team Matt and didn't get that at the end of the series. John Brotherton and I are such great friends. We have a chemistry, we have a rhythm when we act, so this was really fun to do together. I helped develop the script, I produced the movie, and the whole time as we were developing and writing this script, in my mind, I thought this has to be John Brotherton. It has to be, because we already had so much history from not only working on 5 seasons with Fuller House, but even within the characters that we played, that we were in love, we were engaged, we broke up. There was just a lot there. And I thought, oh, we're gonna get this for free in the movie, like all this underlying content. So I wanted John Brotherton for this and gave him a call and we made it work. Every time we were together, with these two teams competing, it was just so much fun. Everyone's great, all the actors are fun, but we just got to be silly and goofy. This year's been very interesting, especially with all the commotion that, shipping is down and things can't come in from overseas and there might not be gifts for Christmas. And I think about it and I go, wouldn't that be great? What if we all actually focused on the real meaning of Christmas? Obviously, if you share the Christian faith, that is the birth of Jesus Christ. If you celebrate another holiday, how about focusing on that and focusing on the time with your family and friends and having deep, meaningful conversations or sharing a cup of coffee together? I think that there are so many good things that can come out of this holiday season. And just like last year, sometimes just taking that deep breath and focusing on what's right in front of you, the good that is right in front of you, is the best way to spend the holidays. My Christmas decorations are coming in. Like I wore a Christmas sweatshirt yesterday. I'm ready for Christmas. And I love Thanksgiving, but Thanksgiving and Christmas is kind of one for me. It's just all holidays all the time. But I'm really looking forward to being with my family because I'm an empty nester, but of course I'll get all my kids home for the holidays. And I think this year we might do a destination Christmas. We'll see. We're still working out some details, but I think that might just be a really fun time to spend with the 5 of us together. Hallmark movies have honestly become a part of people's holiday tradition. They just can't go the season without watching multiple Hallmark movies. And I love that. And I think everyone loves them because they're predictable, because they feel good. It's like putting on a fuzzy blanket over yourself. It's like putting your slippers on. It's just something that feels good. And you just know that it's gonna have a happy ending. Everything's gonna turn out okay. And you're gonna get that smooch at the end. That's why we all love Hallmark movies.
Oh yeah, that one looks good. The Christmas contest airs November 28th, 8 p.m. Eastern. You got it on the Hallmark Channel. Stay with us. When we come back, we're looking back on Wedding Crashers with Owen Wilson.
Make the most of your day with Today All Day. Get closer to all your friends in today in a whole new way.
Today in 30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show in a mere 30 minutes.
Shop today with Jill Martin.
We're helping you shop like never before.
The latest styles and biggest names. Today Food.
Things are heating up in the Today All Day kitchen.
Cooking essentials and recipe inspiration.
Get ready. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Only on Today All Day.
Nearly a dozen hours after the eye roared ashore. There is some late-breaking news.
All right,
Grab your apron for a new podcast, Cooking Up a Storm with Al Roker.
My forecast, yummy.
Some of the best chefs spill the beans on family secrets to get you ready for Thanksgiving.
This is fun. Bringing the heat for the holidays.
Listen now wherever you get your podcasts.
Nearly a dozen hours after the eye roared ashore. There is some late-breaking news.
All right,
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
And we are back. Our friend Owen Wilson is an actor of many talents. We last saw him in the Marvel series Loki, and earlier next year, he'll star in Marry Me alongside J-Lo in her return to the big screen. But back in 2005, it was another movie about weddings that got him a lot of attention. Of course, Wedding Crashers. And today, by the way, on Owen's 53rd birthday, happy birthday, we've pulled a little something from the vault.
Take two guys on the prowl, mix in a live band, an open bar, and quite a few hot bridesmaids, and you have the makings for this summer's newest comedy called The Wedding Crashers. Owen Wilson and Vince Vaughn star as two divorce mediators who have perfected the fine art of crashing the wedding.
Okay, what's our backstory?
We're brothers from New Hampshire. We're venture capitalists.
I'm sick of that. Let's be from Vermont, and let's have an emerging maple syrup conglomerate.
Wait, that's stupid. We don't know anything about maple syrup.
I happen to know everything there is to know about maple syrup. I love maple syrup. I love maple syrup on pancakes. I love it on pizza. I like to take maple syrup and put a little bit in my hair when I've had a rough week. What do you think holds it up, Slick?
Owen Wilson, good morning. Cheers, Owen.
Cheers.
Nice to see you. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So I understand you took your mom and dad. I'll take a sip of this, right? It's cocktail hour somewhere.
Why not? Yeah.
You took your mom and dad to the London premiere, is that right?
Yes, my mother and father came from Texas to the London premiere.
And what did they think, Owen?
They said it was great. They said they loved the movie, although it seems like you always have to measure things in sort of degrees of greatness, because nobody ever says, at least to me, that anything's less than great. Everyone's always like, it's great, but in this case, people seem to be genuine.
I mean, it's very funny, but it is a tad raunchy.
It is.
You know,
rated R.
Right, in some places. Do you ever feel embarrassed? I mean, you don't have any, well, you have a few sort of risque scenes.
Yeah.
But when those come up, do you like cover your parents' eyes or anything?
Well,
it must be kind of embarrassing, really.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't go sit through the movie, so I leave that sort of up to my dad, and he kind of is responsible for kind of shepherding my mother through some of the more difficult scenes. I give him a heads up, kind of.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the fact that this is, you know, I think what works in this movie, and I talked to Vince yesterday, is it's kind of old school meets The Notebook a little bit, because
That's a good,
it is a very funny movie, but it's a funny movie with a heart, don't you think?
Heart. Bless you for saying
No,
that.
but isn't that true,
It's true. It's true, and we did work hard on the script with the writers and the director, David Dobkin, in trying to make it more than just like, you know, these guys who are kind of, you know, on the prowl. And then when I do fall for Rachel McAdams, who's easy to fall for.
And who is in The Notebook, by the way.
Exactly, and very pretty and stuff, that does have, hopefully, like a little heart to it, without being
clearly is not
sappy.
where you fall in love with Rachel McAdams, but that's okay. This is Rachel McAdams, and as we said, she is the daughter of the Treasury Secretary, played by Christopher Walken, and this is sort of the mother of all weddings to crash, right, Owen?
Yes, this is at the time where I'm kind of losing my interest in crashing, because I think it's a little pathetic that Vince and I are in our 30s and still sort of doing this, and he assures me that it isn't, and this is our big sort of last one, and I fall for this girl, Rachel.
And that really is the bulk of the movie, sort of how you fit in, and sort of she's engaged to this other creepy guy named Sack.
Yeah, he's not so great.
He's awful, isn't he?
He's not. It's hard to root for him.
Yeah. I understand that you actually crashed something with Vince Vaughn, not a wedding, but a Republican party.
We were staying in D.C.
Or young Republicans, right?
Yeah, we were looking for something to do at night, and there was a band playing downstairs at the hotel. It turned out to be a young Republicans party from Texas, and they welcomed me with open arms, even though I wouldn't say that that's my political leaning. But Vince, who actually is maybe more conservative, they were a little suspicious of.
Oh, they were.
Yeah,
did you have fun though?
Yeah, we did have a good time.
And you wanted this movie to be authentic, because some of it does take place in Washington, and I guess, is that on the Eastern Shore where the wedding is, or is that somewhere else? Is that?
It's near Maryland, kind of Chesapeake Bay, but we did want it to be kind of authentic because Christopher Walken's the Secretary of Treasury, so we got John McCain.
Right, you actually called John McCain and asked him to appear?
I called him, and you know, the people that I spoke to, I guess the Secretary could not have been nicer. nicer. And they said, we'll give you an answer in 45 minutes. They called back and said it'd do it.
Again, we're sending out a huge happy birthday to our pal, Owen Wilson. And there you have it, friends. That was today's Pop Start Plus. How is that? Don't answer that. Join us again tomorrow. Have a great day. We'll see you soon.
Oh, hi, everybody. Oh, sorry, we were just chatting, but it's Today All Day time. Thursday, one day closer to the weekend, 1 week from Thanksgiving, and so happy you're here for us on Today in 30.
Yeah, again, it is just 1 week from Thanksgiving, so there are a few bumps along the road, and we want to help you out. There's a travel rush, the holiday week storm, even a food supply shortage, but we got it covered. Don't worry, your family's going to be fine.
I was like, what's next, frogs and locusts? No, we have this covered. We're going to give you some really good advice. And speaking of Turkey Day, we will check out some must-have gadgets to save you time and aggravation in the kitchen.
And then I got a chance to sit down and chat with Jennifer Lopez and her Marry Me co-star Maluma. Don't you wonder if she'd like to hear those two words again? Marry me.
Oh, you're gonna get down and
gonna ask her.
Get down to scrub in with the scalpel and get the information.
All right, let's do it. It's time for
Today in 30.
We're talking about the Thanksgiving travel rush now, already expected to be slowed by the return of crowded airports and roads, and now there's apparently a holiday week storm to worry about. But first, NBC's Stephanie Gosk is at New York's LaGuardia Airport for us. Hey, Steph, good morning.
Hey, Craig, good morning. You know, air travel has really increased in recent months, but it's fair to say that a lot of people who are flying over this holiday haven't flown in a long time, and they should expect things to look and feel different. And with this forecast becoming increasingly bleak, flying anywhere could be a headache. This morning, the weather maps tell a troubling story. Storms are brewing that could disrupt travel nationwide, including at some of the airline's biggest hubs in Chicago, New York, and Atlanta. And while storms are never good for air travel, the pandemic-strained system will have an even harder time.
We would ask that people be understanding right now.
The number of people hitting the roads and the skies this Thanksgiving is nearing pre-pandemic levels, more than 53 million. Flight bookings are up over 100% since last year, but the travel industry has had trouble rebounding.
Do people, before they even walk out the front door, have to manage their expectations for what this is going to be like?
Right. It's not going to be smooth. The world has not returned to normal and won't return to normal probably through the rest of the year.
Airports are asking people to show up 2 hours in advance for domestic flights and double-check their carry-on.
It's a jar, if it's in a can, or even if it's homemade, then you want to put that in your check bag.
TSA says it has enough staff, but the lines will be long, and authorities are asking passengers to extend their patience to the skies after airline staff have faced an uptick in unruly passengers.
How concerned are you about this dynamic, and do you think more needs to be done to enforce measures against people who act out?
I am very concerned about it. The level of unruly behavior is much higher than I have ever seen it.
There are challenges on the roads, too. Rental cars are hard to find and are expensive, costing nearly $100 a day on average. Gas prices are up more than 60%, prompting President Biden to write a letter to the Federal Trade Commission, accusing gas companies of unfairly hiking prices and asking for an investigation. The president writing in part, "I do not accept hardworking Americans paying more for gas because of anti-competitive or otherwise potentially illegal conduct." But for now, those high prices and travel headaches are an unwelcome guest for the holidays. There's some people who like to make those last-minute plans over the holiday. They could be in trouble this year. There just isn't a lot of supply out there. So cars, hotels, flights, they could run out, Craig.
All right, Stephanie Gosk, it sounds like you're talking to me directly. Thank you.
This morning, an issue that could put a damper on your family's Thanksgiving Day plans.
Yeah, the big day, of course, exactly 1 week from now. And looks like you may have to get creative to avoid higher prices and supply chain concerns that could impact what goes on that holiday table. NBC's Carrie Sanders has been doing some grocery shopping for us down in Florida. Hey, Carrie.
Good morning, guys. Look, if you're going to be preparing the Thanksgiving mouth-watering spread, the good news is you should be able to get what you want. But you need to shop early. Already at grocery stores across the country, including here at Doris's Italian Market and Bakery, they're seeing an acute demand for things like paper products, aluminum foil, and of course, turkeys. So your fridge may be full if you get the turkey now and follow the advice, but it will guarantee that you have what you want to eat 7 days from now. We've all heard about those empty shelves at stores this winter, worrying many Americans that their Thanksgiving preparations may come up short, while some stores like this regional chain have managed to keep stocking the shelves with turkeys.
These are the fresh turkeys we're getting from the Shenandoah Valley right here.
But it has not been business as usual.
One of our large suppliers cut our order 30%, and we had a scramble. We went to a local turkey farmer that we've been dealing with for 25 years. They grow their own feed. There's no supply chain disruptions.
Stu Leonard Jr., a third-generation CEO, says turkey farmers may have underestimated demand this year as American families get together again in large groups.
First of all, the early bird gets the worm, okay? Don't wait till the last minute to go buy your turkey.
According to the American Farm Bureau Federation, the average cost of Thanksgiving dinner is up 14% this year. Grocery stores like Winn-Dixie say they're trying to hold prices down, but much is out of their control.
Is there a supply chain issue with the things we like to put on our Thanksgiving table?
The supply chain is definitely bending, Kerry. It's not broken.
In stores like this in South Carolina and California, temporary turkey shortages. The strain is resulting in a more expensive dinner. A 16-pound turkey up 24% this year to $23.99. Frozen pie crusts up 20% and fresh cranberries up 11%.
Supply chains in general, as they relate to specialty crops, have just gotten more expensive. So cranberries in Wisconsin have to deal with much more expensive trucking rates, for example. And so that has a kind of an impact on what we would expect to pay at the grocery store.
I can see that the prices have gone up, and I actually feel bad for a lot of people.
I guess you can just say I'm hoping for the best, you know. I don't have much control over this, so what can I do?
To save money, retailers suggest make dishes from scratch instead of buying pre-made. Look for generic brands and keep an open mind.
We sometimes say customers are going to get what they need. It might not necessarily be the brand that they particularly want, but they're going to find what they need.
And that's especially true this Thanksgiving?
Absolutely.
With traditional Thanksgiving back on the menu, this year a little creativity may be the secret ingredient to a happy holiday.
All right, Kerry, let's get creative here. What are some ideas to get the most out of Thanksgiving this year and try and avoid those high prices?
So the experts say, first of all, if you're out and you can't find what you want, think about shopping locally. That's a good tip. Remember that you can always do frozen foods. Most people are always looking for fresh, but frozen foods. You could actually tell everybody coming to your table, hey, let's split this up. Everybody brings something kind of like a potluck. That helps. And horror of all horrors, I'm not sure this would ever happen anywhere I've ever eaten, but smaller portions at the table. So if everybody eats a little bit less, there'll be plenty of food to go around.
Yeah, I just cut out on that last one.
None of those tips would go over well at my Thanksgiving table as well.
Okay.
Kerry, thank you.
Stick around because there is much more coming up on Today in 30.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition. Nearly a dozen hours after the eye roared ashore. There is some late-breaking news.
All right,
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app. Grab your apron for a new podcast, Cooking Up a Storm without Roku.
My forecast, yummy.
Some of the best chefs spill the beans on family secrets to get you ready for Thanksgiving.
This is fun. Bringing the heat for the holidays.
Follow now wherever you get your podcasts. Cooking Up a Storm without Roku, a Thanksgiving feast and a podcast. Listen now.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
To cover the news, you have to be in it. We'll take you to the front lines of the story, bringing your news feed to life. Streaming live every night. It's your news playlist.
Top Story with Tom Llamas, weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
We are back with Today Bestsellers this morning. It's all about Thanksgiving must-haves. Shop All Day contributor Jen Fallick is here with great items that'll take you from cooking to serving. Not too late to snag everything you need. So we've got our QR code that we're going to pop up on the screen so you can shop along as we go along right there. Hi, Jen.
Hello. How are you?
Okay, a week from today is the big day. Let's brine our turkey. What's the best way to do that?
So there's no need. You don't need to like be a hero and put together your own seasoning and all this. This kit has everything you need in it. People love it. It's very classic flavorings. And how foolproof is this? You get the bag with it.
Yep.
All the directions are right there. You cannot mess this up.
You put it in, you put the turkey in,
yeah, all the ingredients are already there. You don't have to worry if you're missing a spice. It actually ends up being much more affordable also than like putting together your own mix of things that you have to buy.
Brilliant.
Easy done.
Okay, what is this mini oven? What is this? This is cute.
So you want to save the real estate in your oven for all the sides. You can use this. So this is a roaster with a self-basting lid. So put your turkey in here, turn it on, and then you don't have to keep going around and basting it. It actually is going to circulate the moisture so that your turkey bastes itself. And you can make gravy in here too, so you don't have to waste one of your stovetop either.
Yeah, you've got to have great coordination if you want to make the sides and the turkey all in one oven. Brilliant idea. What's the price point on this?
So this one, I believe it's under $70 the last time we checked.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a good deal.
A meat thermometer is a must-have, especially when you're doing all these different dishes.
And you want one that's quick, so that's why we love this one. So this is the ThermoPro, and it'll give you the temperature within 3 to 5 seconds.
So you put it in?
Yeah, you just stick right in there. It's going to give you the temperature. Push a button. It's actually battery operated and comes with the batteries. One less thing to charge. I feel like anything I need to charge, I always forget to charge.
136.
This is good and easy. And comes in fun colors.
You put it in the turkey, put it in the beef.
Yeah, use it year-round.
You need a timer if you're going to make sure everything is working on time.
You need a timer, and this actually we discovered in the school supply section initially because it has a little whiteboard on it. You can set 4 timers, put down what you're timing. It has a different sound for each. So if you've got a lot of cooks in the kitchen, everyone knows what timer is for what thing.
By the way, if you're ever cooking multiple things and the timer goes off, you're like going, which, what? Brilliant. Turkey, potatoes, veggies, pie. Set all the timers and just hit the buttons.
It's so easy. And then erase it and use it for your kids' homework the next day.
Okay, I know what a potato masher looks like, and it does not look like this. So what is this one?
So this is a potato masher with a cult following.
So what's the story?
The reason that people love it, it's heat resistant, so you can mash while you cook. No, it's just
you just mash it?
Mash while you cook. And it has, you notice there's little angles on the side, so it's curved edges.
Wait a minute.
So you can scrape everything off the sides. You don't end up with burned bits. And then you stick it in the dishwasher and it's clean.
I mean, about those potato mashers, you have to constantly scrape it. It doesn't work. No, this is good.
And I love you can use it while you're cooking.
Okay,
so
and how much is this thing?
This, last time I looked, it was around $10.
$10.
So it's a great deal. Okay. And fun colors too also.
Keeping things warm, that's the problem. You can't get all your stuff out so it all is warm at the same time. What do we do?
Yeah, that's the ultimate challenge. We've made our turkey, we've made our sides, everything's perfect. We got to keep it warm. So this is a warming tray. This actually comes with these dishes. So you can put these on top and serve your sides.
Wait, look at this.
It has a little spot for your utensils. It smells so good. And then when you want to have dessert kept nice and warm, just pop off the trays. It looks like this.
This is the answer.
Put your pies on there and you're set.
This is the answer to the Thanksgiving dilemma because you're always throwing stuff in the microwave, trying to pull it out. Is this ready? Now, scoop on your plate.
It's a very chic solution. Use it for a million different
price
things.
point okay on this
one? The price point is all of these things. I was shocked.
This is like $60, $59
yeah,
for this.
$59 for this whole thing.
All right, looks good. All right, to shop these items, text today to the number below. And we want to mention this segment solely features products available on Amazon, which has an affiliate relation with Today. Meantime, for even more shopping, you can catch Jill Martin on Peacock Presents Holiday Steals and Deals. More than 40 gift ideas, some over 80% off. It's coming up Monday on Today All Day, and Peacock, part of our parent NBC Universal company.
Today is now a podcast available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
Is it easier to pass a bipartisan bill right now than it is to pass a Democrats-only bill? This supply chain issue has been a problem for months. Do you concur that this is going to get worse before it gets better? Are you concerned about the direction of your party? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
To cover the news, you have to be in it. We'll take you to the front lines of the story, bringing your news feed to life. Streaming live every night, it's your news playlist.
Top Story with Tom Llamas, weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now.
News is more than a headline. It informs, it inspires, and it still matters. To cover it, you have to be in it. And that's what we're gonna do. Every night, we take you to the front lines of the story, where it's actually happening, with NBC News journalists on the ground from all over the world. We cover what you need to know and bring your newsfeed to life. In primetime and streaming live, it's your news playlist every night.
Top Story with Tom Llamas, weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today.
Let's go! International Day of the Girl.
The strength and courage of these women is remarkable.
What's your message to girls who want to make a difference?
Believe in yourself. You can make it happen.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Cooking up a storm with Al Roker, a Thanksgiving feast and a podcast. Listen now.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Cooking up a storm with Al Roker, a Thanksgiving feast and a podcast. Listen now.
November is Alzheimer's Awareness Month, and we're shining a light on the work done by caregivers with our special series, The Cost of Care.
MSNBC anchor Richard Louie here to show us how music is helping aging loved ones and also helping their caregivers as well, right?
That's right. Good morning to all of you. It's really amazing. Music can feel like magic when it comes to caregiving. As a family caregiver myself, it can be a wonderful feeling to find a new way of communicating with my parent, for instance, who is living with Alzheimer's. And now you're about to meet a mother and a daughter who's found that a healthy dose of music medicine is exactly what the doctor ordered. If you had 30 seconds with a caregiver, what would you tell them that gives them hope?
It gets better. It really does get better.
For more than 10 years, Soraya Elcock, along with her spouse Evan, have been caregivers for Soraya's mother Lena, who has been living with moderate stage Alzheimer's.
I've been a caregiver for 8 years as well for my father living with Alzheimer's. Tell me about what has been the most difficult as a caregiver.
Adjusting to losing your mom bit by bit, moment by moment, day by day.
After Lena's diagnosis, Soraya arranged for her mother to live with her, making sure to incorporate something in her daily routine that she could not live without: music.
That was always such a big part of her life. You saw what peace, what joy, what excitement. It made her feel like she was Lena.
But after suffering a stroke, Soraya decided it was best for her mother to live at the Menorah Center for Rehabilitation and Nursing Care, a place with a music therapy program.
I see. Because she's also in a choir here, which is always just mind-blowing to me.
She's on a choir?
She's a part of a choir. I remember laughing once because they were like, she can't come to the phone, she's in rehearsal. And everyone's like, rehearsal? Hello? The fact that she can learn music where she is in her disease is just amazing. Got up with the rising sun.
Through the program, Soraya not only saw changes in her mother when she was around music, but with herself as well.
What has music meant to you as a caregiver?
I think I reach for it more now as a connection to mommy, you know, because that's something we probably share at a different level than before.
And Soraya is not the only one. Other family caregivers noticed a positive change in their mental health as part of a series of studies on the effects of music therapy in individuals living with dementia, conducted by a team of researchers from NYU Langone Health and the Menorah Center.
Preliminary findings do show that caregivers who sing or play music at home with their caregivers are less stressed, and the person with dementia is less agitated and less restless.
Why are the studies that you've gone through, you think, so significant?
We had the prejudice that people with dementia won't be able to do anything. And in a situation in which they are producing music for the enjoyment of other people, our participants with dementia in the early to middle stages were able to learn 18 new songs for every performance. And this, I think, was a big wow.
Is music now a new language that you and your mother have together?
Yeah. because so much of how we communicate is music.
If it is a new language, what are you saying to her?
I love her, and I miss her. It's my way of fulfilling that promise that I'm gonna take care of you. So, I guess it's a love song, huh? Little things mean a lot.
Little things can mean a lot. By the way, Lena opened her eyes after they were singing together. They do make beautiful music together. We should mention these studies are ongoing, so Dr. Ray and Dr. Middleman, they're looking for you, for participants. So far, they have found, by the way, 2/3 of caregivers participating in this music study say their stress went down by 50%.
Wow.
Also want to say, Lena, who has a watch party across 2 different countries right now, is turning 90 today.
Happy birthday, Lena. So incredible. You know, this is so exciting because this is a whole new area to study. Yes. We're looking at music, we're looking at exercise, we're looking at diet. And the Women's Alzheimer's Movement funded that, and the Alzheimer's Association. So this is a wide open space now to look at all different areas of the brain. It used to be they just looked at plaques and tangles.
That's right. It's great that we're looking at therapeutics, not only on these big home runs, because we got to get to somewhere in between so we can get to the finish line.
You know, it's so interesting. Maria did a story earlier this morning, and I was downstairs with some of the crew, and immediately people started saying, well, my grandmother or my, my father, and then you sitting here talking about your father, and then Al mentioned his, sister-in-law. So it touches so many people.
So many people. We're an aging society, so it's going to be even more.
I love that the two of you have devoted your platforms and you're using your megaphones.
We're doing a summit tonight together.
Oh, cool.
Yes, about the power of research, right?
So great.
Wonderful.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Cooking up a storm with Al Roker, a Thanksgiving feast and a podcast. Listen now.
To cover the news, you have to be in it. We'll take you to the front lines of the story, bringing your news feed to life. Streaming live every night. It's your news playlist.
Top Story with Tom Llamas, weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today.
Let's go! International Day of the Girl.
The strength and courage of these women is remarkable.
What's your message to girls who want to make a difference?
Believe in yourself. You can make it happen.
Today is now a podcast, available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
This isn't about spending going forward. This is about spending that's already happened. Do you accept the idea that we have a crisis at the border? The vaccine mandate. Is this going to work, or is this going to backfire? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
People really don't know what's going to happen. Nearly a dozen hours after the eye roared ashore. More good people than bad people, I know, right? 5 seconds. 4, 3. There is some late-breaking news 4 hours into the Iowa caucuses by the mail delivery system.
All right, it just me too.
Okay, crank up this song. It's Party by J-Lo and Maluma, and these two sure know how to get their party started. J-Lo is one of the biggest superstars on the planet, and Maluma is pretty much the biggest male Latin pop star since Ricky Martin.
So combined, Jennifer Lopez, Maluma, they reach, 250 million people on Instagram alone, and now those two are teaming up on the big screen. I had a chance to talk with them about their new film. It's called Marry Me. So J-Lo plays a pop star who finds out that her man, played by Maluma, is cheating on her. And so the rom-com fun begins. Take a look.
Let's do it again from the top.
I saw the movie, full disclosure, early. I loved it. It was magical. It was so fun. A pop star who's got everything going for her, in love with another pop star, finds out she's kind of publicly cheated on and decides to marry just a cute guy who's in the audience wearing a windbreaker, okay? I love that this is about making one single decision that's gonna change the course of your life.
Yeah, I'm standing there. Why not? Yes. And I've been on stage so many times talking to my fans, performing for my fans. You know what that's like. It was just, and I was like, oh my God, if this happened. And then I just felt her having kind of this like nervous breakdown inside, but kind of holding it together as the show person that she is, and then doing this crazy thing that then you, like you said, it's a decision that winds up changing the course of her life. And sometimes, like she says in the movie, you have to kind of take a leap off a cliff and just know that, you know, God is going to catch you, that you're going to fly, that you might not hit the bottom, you actually might soar. And that's, I think, what happens, and I believe that very much too.
Maluma, you and Jennifer make beautiful music. There's lots of chemistry too.
First of all, it was organic. You know, it was like supernatural working with Jennifer in the studio for the first time, and all the music that we were doing and developing that time was beautiful.
The Marry Me, the actual song for Marry Me was written as an up-tempo, and we turned it into a ballad, and we performed it at one of Maluma's real concerts at Madison Square Garden.
Wait.
Yes.
Back up. I did not know that. For real?
We were shooting the movie, and I was like, what do you guys think if maybe we do the performance here at the Madison Square Garden? It was crazy because if I go to perform at the Garden, you know, it's like a big pressure for me, you know. But, well, we did it, and I think it was a beautiful moment. We enjoyed it. It was magical.
It was not only magical in person, it's probably one of my favorite moments in the movie.
Jennifer, I just want to say, I was so happy to see you singing in this movie. I've missed you. Was it Selena? Was that the last time you sang in a movie?
I think that was the last time I sang in a movie, and I didn't even sing in that movie. It was Selena's voice. This is the first time I made an album for a movie, and so I was like, okay, no, this is the place to let them out.
So the movie is called Marry Me. So are those two words that either of you hope to hear in the near future?
Yes, Maluma, tell us.
Oh, no. No, I always talk about this with my mom, you know, because my mom.
Because she wants you to get married, she wants grandkids.
And I'm like, no, Mom, thank you. I'm 27 years old, you know, I still have so many things to live. I'm just focused on my career.
All right, your turn, Jennifer. Those two words.
For what?
The two words, marry me. Are those two words you would like to hear in the future?
Marry me,
say yes. I don't know. Yeah, I guess. I mean, you know me, I'm a romantic. I always have been. I've been married a few times. Yeah, I still believe in happily ever after, for sure. 100%.
So I know she
heard
does.
it here.
She believes in happily ever after, and it sounds like she maybe wants to hear those words. So good for her.
Can somebody text Ben?
By the way, yeah. Well, I'm sure he might know. By the way, if you want, isn't it kind of fun to have a rom-com out
You're
though?
in.
When's the last
Can
time?
I just tell you?
But
Hoda is in the movie
just for
Marry
a
Me.
second.
She's a star of the film.
I'm not. I'm
yes,
sitting
she
on the
is.
set. But here's the thing: we need a rom-com. Now we have one. By the way, the full trailer for Marry Me is on HodaandJenna.com. The movie lands in theaters just ahead of Valentine's Day.
Oh, I can't wait, and I can't wait to see your role.
Hoda, what was it like playing yourself in Marry Me?
Do you want to know the absolute truth?
Yes.
Okay. So they told me I needed 2 outfit changes, and I had to be a reporter. I had to do my job. So I put on a red shirt, and then for my second outfit, I put a white shirt on top of the red shirt.
She regretted that.
I wore it. I looked, and then I just kept reading. I was like, why didn't I change?
It's a full-length film.
I should have changed my shirt instead of piling.
But you know what? That is authentic to yourself and your role because that's what you do.
Well, that's true. If
Marry me, marry me.
she's playing her. That's right.
Right?
Well, I hope you liked that, and I hope you'll come back tomorrow on Today because this is going to be crazy. Hoda and Jenna hitting the streets of New York on another spectacular mystery adventure. What happened?
It was so fun. And by the way, it was really close to 30 Rockefeller Plaza, but it was a blast. We'll see you then. Have a great day.
let's dig into this because there are some people who, through this pandemic, everything has kind of been on hold. But for you, I mean, I'm reading about all of these things. I mean, projects, startups. I mean, what has this year been like for you navigating COVID and creating?
I mean, like so many of us, it put me on pause. For me, it was just about kind of distracting myself and at least being able to control the work that I did. You can't control anything in the outside world. And I think once I accepted that, I was just like, what I can control is the work that I do, my output, the projects that I'm involved in, who I can help. And that's kind of what I made my mandate for the past year. And thankfully, you know, production started ramping back up in some instances. People started to figure out how to shoot things safely, how to gather safely. And once those parameters were met, I was like, okay, I can work.
So let's go back a little bit for people who may not know your story. A lot of us do, but some people may not. And they see you now and they see this glamorous, successful person on their screens. But I know that it hasn't always been that way. And you're very unapologetic about talking about that. I just read this morning that sometime in life you mispronounced Tupac's name. I don't even know how that's possible. I don't even.
Well, it's possible when you're a nerd like me. Yes, that was a real thing.
But tell me this, do you still feel like you're that awkward girl or do you feel like you've blossomed? Like, where are you now? Where's your headspace?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely still feel that way. I constantly just have to accept that this is what I'm going to be. I was just saying the other day, like, when people meet me, it's equally devastating for me, for them to think that, like, oh, I'm meeting somebody cool. And then to like watch them see like, oh, she doesn't know how to be a person, and like, oh, what is this? It's just, you know, I think I've just come to accept that that's who people are gonna get. But it's been a journey, and I think part of my journey has been that acceptance of just like, yes, I'm this socially uncomfortable, awkward person, and I'm gonna just put it in my work. And it's really comforting to know that there's so many other people out here like that. I think I've just kind of found my community by accepting it too.
When you launched Awkward Black Girl, I was just looking, was it 10 years ago?
It was 10 years ago. We just had our 10th anniversary, February 3rd, which is wild.
Did you ever imagine what it could become? Some people say, yes, I could. Others say, no, this is beyond my wildest dreams. What about for you?
I'm others. I'm definitely like this. I made this just so I could stop talking mess, because I was complaining a lot about like what I wasn't seeing on TV. And, you know, this was creating a character and a world to be like, if I can do it, then I know mainstream TV can do it. And so I was even surprised after the first episode. Then I was like, oh God, I gotta write more and catch up. So to see the impact that it's even had 10 years later, to see what it's, you know, birthed, I did try to use it as a way to kind of get into the industry. And so that was something where I was like, it happened, but not like this, no.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Let's go. You think you'll run for office one of these days? I'm not saying no to anything. Wow.
Welcome to Football Fright in America.
People really don't know what's going to happen. Nearly a dozen hours after the Eye roared ashore.
More good people than bad people, I know, right?
5 seconds. 4, 3. There is some late-breaking news 4 hours into the Iowa caucuses. Private hand deliberations.
All right, it just did too.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Nearly a dozen hours after the Eye roared ashore. There is some late-breaking news.
All right, it just did.
Cooking up a storm with Al Roker, a Thanksgiving feast and a podcast. Listen now.
It's so interesting. I watched your master class yesterday, which was phenomenal because I didn't know what to expect with those. Sometimes I didn't know, is somebody just going to kind of give us a little speech? Or are they really giving us the nuggets, the X's and O's? And you really kind of zoom in, and it made me recognize that this is a craft, and you have been at this for a very long time, even before Awkward Black Girl. I mean, this is something it seems like you've always wanted to do, isn't it?
Definitely. I've always wanted to tell stories and have kind of learned by doing. Thank you for watching the class, by the way.
I'm Issa Rae, and this is my masterclass.
It was such an incredible experience to even do it because, when you're in it, you feel like, well, what am I going to teach? Because I'm still learning myself. But the team there and the producers there really extract like everything that you've been through and everything that you do know. And I was like, okay, I do feel equipped to teach this. And at least, I'm all about sharing all the resources, all the tools that I have so that you can make it. And I didn't have formal training. And so I feel like this class is very friendly for people who are just like, you know what, I want to try it. I want to see what I can do. And I don't know where to start. So shout out to Masterclass for giving me a chance to teach.
You know what you talked about that resonated with me that I didn't even realize is when you talked about the 90s, there were so many sitcoms that highlighted African-American families and not even just families, living single or what have you. And I thought about it when you were talking about it. It was like, there was a time when I wanted to be Rudy Huxtable. I would do my hair like Rudy. Then I wanted to be Denise. Then I wanted to go to Hillman. And now if somebody calls me Claire, I'm like...
Dang! Claire's still a compliment, though. But dang.
No, but for me, I'm like,
that is a range.
Yes, our little brown children. Thank you. That's me. And I'm not even kidding. Like, that's the truth. But the point is, though, that you talk about the power of representation, right? And so now we're in a new phase of life, which I guess is why, Insecure speaks to a lot of people. But talk to me about that, because there was a time when those shows went away in the 90s that we kind of had a void. What was that impact for you?
That impact was like, what happened? Why? Like, I know that these shows are possible to exist. And reality television, bless reality television's heart, it's really entertaining, but that ended up kind of being the sole representation for Black people, Black women. And that was kind of disturbing to me because it didn't show how multifaceted we are. I didn't know a lot of people, my friends weren't like the women that were portrayed on television. And again, it's entertainment, and that's not a knock on those women, but we were just more than that. And I missed seeing our simple stories on screen, and to see that, when I think about white representation, it spans like that's the gamut. Like they get everything, and so I wanted that for us too. And so I think that a lot of people were feeling that way at the time, and I think that's why you even see a renaissance now of so much content, and we have such a long way to go.
Are we in a renaissance? Like sometimes people talk about the Harlem Renaissance or different phases in history. Are we in a content renaissance, you think, with social media and YouTube? I mean, there's so many places where you can find content.
We're in a content renaissance for sure. I don't know if it's a Black renaissance. It's definitely not a people of color renaissance, because we were barely scratching the surface there. But it's coming, it's developing. And I think, with all these different platforms and the way of streamlining it, there's only so much you can continue to offer the same type of show over and over again. So you have to expand the stories. We're hungry.
What happened in between Awkward Black Girl and Insecure? Is there a time in your life that we just don't know about? I mean, was there a hustle there? Or was somebody like, knock, 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 hey, you're great, let's put you on? Like, what was in between there?
Lots of messing up, lots of learning lessons, Between Awkward Black Girl and Insecure, I got offers to turn Awkward Black Girl into a television show. But, we had so much online, or some people just wanted to replace the cast, or they just didn't understand it, or they wanted to franchise it to make it international. In one instance where they were like, we could do Awkward Indian Boy, we could do Awkward Israeli Girl. And I was like, that's missing the point. Then I had an opportunity to work with ABC and mess that up, which I talk about in my masterclass, is like, oh, this was my one shot to transition from YouTube to television, and I messed up. I was creating more web series. I got to work with Tracy Edmonds on a show. So there were so many things. I wrote a book. There were so many things that I was doing in between that time just to kind of exercise my creative muscles and stay afloat. But I was deathly afraid that kind of awkward Black girl was all I was going to end up having to offer.
How do you know when something is right? It's the right project, because there's certainly no shortage of offers at this point. How do you know in your gut, this is something? I
very much make what I want to see. I participate in what I want to be a part of. That's down to every television and film project that I do. Do I want to see it? Do I want to be in it? Do I think my friends would find it funny? That's every business, that I take part in. So that would be like with the coffee shops. I ran out of coffee shops. I wanted a neighborhood coffee shop, and I had to leave. So, invested in Hilltop, and now we have one in Inglewood and View Park and Eagle Rock. And those are my communities. I think about, hair is such a big part of my life. And so, having Sienna Naturals has been an incredible experience, because it's about like taking care of my hair, which is something that I've learned. So anything that I take part in is something that I feel that I would need and use and want to see.
Speaking of hair, can we talk about how insecure your hair is different? There for a while, like every scene, I was like, "Ooh, what's she gonna do now?" Which has nothing to do, I guess, with the plot, but it's just
not at all,
right? But that's what I'm saying. There are just so many ways that you're speaking to people without even speaking, if that makes any sense.
No, I wish I appreciate, I have to shout out my hairstylist, Felicia Leatherwood, who is really, it's been a hair journey. You talk about 10 years, you look at my hair in Awkward Black Girl, I had just shaved my head because I was tired of it. And with Insecure, we really wanted to just showcase the different things that you can do with natural hair, because, when it comes to representation, it's so hard to see 4C hair, 4D, all of these specific textures of hair aren't necessarily seen as beautiful. And so being able to showcase that, and also, have a hair product where it's encouraging being able to take care of textured hair, just felt like it goes hand in hand. It's always been a passion of mine, and it's been a part of my identity.
So wait, the hair product, are the products out now?
The products are out now. Sienna Naturals, they're in Target and Nordstrom. You can go cop them. That if you use the Happy shampoo and you aren't happy afterwards, if you're not like, "Oh, my hair, God, what happened?" Then complain, but you won't. Okay. So yes, you can get them at Target and Nordstrom. Shout out to the founder, Hannah Jope, who I watched her create those products in her kitchen. It has to be 10 years ago now? No, about 8 years ago now. And to see her develop the products over time with textured hair in mind and make them the best that they can be has been incredible. And now, on set, that's all I use.
Grab your apron for a new podcast, Cooking Up a Storm with Al Roker.
My forecast, yummy.
Some of the best chefs spill the beans on family secrets to get you ready for Thanksgiving.
This is fun. Bringing the heat for the holidays.
Follow now wherever you get your podcasts.
Today is now a podcast, available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
To cover the news, you have to be in it. We'll take you to the front lines of the story, bringing your news feed to life. Streaming live every night. It's your news playlist.
Top Story with Tom Llamas, weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now.
This isn't about spending going forward. This is about spending that's already happened. Do you accept the idea that we have a crisis at the border? The vaccine mandate. Is this going to work, or is this going to backfire? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press. The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast. Free wherever you get your podcasts.
Today is now a podcast, available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
This isn't about spending going forward. This is about spending that's already happened. Do you accept the idea that we have a crisis at the border? The vaccine mandate. Is this going to work, or is this going to backfire? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today.
Let's go! International Day of the Girl.
The strength and courage of these women is remarkable.
What's your message to girls who want to make a difference?
Believe in yourself. You can make it happen.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast. Free wherever you get your podcasts.
Cooking Up a Storm with Al Roker, a Thanksgiving feast and a podcast. Listen now.
This isn't about spending going forward. This is about spending that's already happened. Do you accept the idea that we have a crisis at the border? the vaccine mandate. Is this going to work, or is this going to backfire? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
So before we start a new chapter, we're closing the chapter after 5 years or 5 seasons on Insecure. I guess there's nothing I could say that would reverse that. I'm like sad. I'm sad.
No, you're gonna make me sad if you reverse it. What are you talking about?
Because there's so many of us who don't. Well, what are we gonna do? It's like we wait for it. I guess, are you ready to let it go?
I'm definitely ready to let it go. I knew that I wanted to end it after 5 seasons, and I feel like I'm really proud of this season that we're telling now, like we're shooting now. It's so much fun, and it's made me appreciate the show in a different way. But yeah,
So
I'm
Issa
ready.
Lawrence gonna like trot off in the sunset somewhere?
Is that what you want?
I think so. Yes, that's what I would like, Issa.
Well, I guess you just have to watch
That's
season
what I
5.
would like. Do you worry what people? I guess I'm sure you don't. I probably know the answer to this question. I mean, people are invested. I mean, you've seen it.
Yeah.
Like they are. Almost sometimes it's like y'all that they're acting. I mean, but it's right.
Do I worry? Yes, I worry, because I know like it's a story that, you know, is gonna come to an end, and even in the room, it's you know, it's hard. It's hard not to think about that. I think the first 4 seasons, it was easier to be like, okay, whatever, tune the audience out. It's great that they love the show, they have their opinions, but we just want to tell a story. But to end the show is different. So yes, I worry, but like the story at the end of the day is gonna be my story. So
do you know? So is it done? Like, do you know?
It's done. I mean, yeah, we're shooting it right now, but it's done.
But what's gonna be is gonna be.
What's good?
I'm like trying to look your big, beautiful brown eyes. I'm like trying to see if I can see any kind of like. Lord,
what's gonna be is gonna be.
Okay. It's interesting. I read that you and Insecure showrunner, Prentice Penny, met every year over poolside drinks, and you were talking about the upcoming season.
RIP poolside drinks. We did not do that this season. We had to do poolside Zooms. And it was, you know, we made the best of it, but I love that man so much, and he's taught me so much about running a room. Like, even I'm working on a new show now, and the showrunner is also someone who has come out of the Insecure room, and we've learned so much from him and his process, and he's really just inspired kind of I think a legacy of writers. But yes, I think that Insecure will not die because it will produce so many other shows.
That's the good way to put it. Okay, so let me pivot as we come to a close here. For as much as you put yourself out there, you're also very private in many ways. Where is your line? I remember, was it the cover of, I think it was Essence, and people were like, "Ooh, Issa had on a ring," and you know, everybody's, you know, looking.
Yep.
Where's your line?
That is my line. I think I'm always like, I don't want people to know too much like that. I don't want to put out there. I think just via characters. I also don't want people. I want people to be able to separate me from the characters, which I made a huge mistake about with Insecure by even naming the character Issa. Because
you think so?
You know, people call me cheater. They like. There's so many things that they just, by way of like, they're just calling the character name, which happens to be me, and you know, it is a past version of me. So in that way, I would have named her like Isabel or some other name. I should have done better, but yeah, I think, you know, my personal life is just that. It's personal.
So then what has been, I guess, if I were to say the biggest surprise of your career so far, what would it be?
You know, I came into this like wide-eyed, excited about, you know, my heroes, and to know that I have not been disappointed by a hero. I will say I have such a great community of women in this industry who have embraced me, who have, you know, tried to guide me, who have served as blueprints, and the women that I mess with deeply believe in and want the best for our communities. And I love that. So that's been a surprise, because you hear like, don't meet your heroes, people are fake. And I have not had that experience. So that has been a pleasant surprise.
And it seems like you're a giver. I mean, you kind of touched on this already, but there's some people who I almost feel like they hide the wealth of the information. I feel like for you, what's your thought? You just put it out there, and because what's for you is for you, or how do you navigate, especially with other women?
Yeah, I'm definitely like, why am I holding on to this knowledge, these resources, whatever? I've never believed in that. It's always been so ugly for people to be like, well, I got it. I don't know. You got to figure it out. And it's so much more fun and rich when, we can all kind of work alongside each other and help each other out. And in many cases, people have done the same for me of just like, hey, I applied to this program, you should apply too. And so, yeah, I think that's just a natural philosophy for me.
Grab your apron for a new podcast, Cooking Up a Storm with Al Roker.
My forecast, yummy.
Some of the best chefs spill the beans on family secrets to get you ready for Thanksgiving.
This is fun. Bringing the heat for the holidays.
Follow now wherever you get your podcasts.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today.
Let's go! International Day of the Girl.
The strength and courage of these women is remarkable.
What's your message to girls who want to make a difference?
Believe in yourself. You can make it happen.
Make the most of your day with Today All Day. Get closer to all your friends in today in a whole new way.
Today in 30.
We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Shop today with Jill Martin.
We're helping you shop like never before.
The latest styles and biggest names. Today food. Things are heating up in the Today All Day kitchen. Cooking essentials and recipe inspiration.
Get ready. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Only on Today All Day.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today.
Let's go!
You think you'll run for office one of these days?
I'm not saying no to anything.
Wow.
Welcome to Football Fright in America.
That was amazing.
Grab your apron for a new podcast, Cooking Up a Storm with Al Roker.
My forecast, yummy.
Some of the best chefs spill the beans on family secrets to get you ready for Thanksgiving.
This is fun. Bringing the heat for the holidays.
Follow now wherever you get your podcasts.
You have so many projects going on. When you lay your head down on the pillow at night, are you able to put it all on hold, pause? Is it all going?
It's definitely ongoing, but at night, like I fall asleep. I can fall asleep anywhere. I'm a person, I don't know about you, like fall asleep on the
right
plane.
Now, actually.
Exactly.
No problem.
So that's kind of me. I have done this thing. I had to do this thing where I listen to sounds at night.
Okay.
I changed from like listening to the ocean and rain to listening to.
Don't say bugs.
Podcasts. No, ew, no.
Well, I didn't know if you're gonna be like, girl, crickets.
Absolutely not. So I can like dream about them.
Yeah, no, I didn't know podcast was gonna come out. My bad. I interrupted. Podcasts. So you're listening to
crickets is a good guess.
Yeah.
Maybe I will try that.
No,
crickets have a smoothie.
Oh, so you're listening to words of wisdom.
Yeah, in some cases, or words of destruction. You know what's also really soothing for me, oddly enough, but I think I just saw like an article headline about it. Murder crime documentaries. I don't know what it is. I know. Okay, I should
really, but you're not alone. Honestly, look, I host episodes of Dateline on OWN sometimes, and I get more people saying, "Girl, I saw you on doing Dateline," and I'm like, "The spouse did it. Like, y'all keep watching it." Like,
hey, the spouse. That's literally my genre. Is the spouse did it? I think that's what's comforting about it. I know how this is going to end.
So you're not alone. All right. So here's a question for you. Then, how do you recharge when you have so many projects? You have so much going on. What fills your cup?
What fills my cup is Prosecco or wine.
Fair enough. Literally.
So that definitely helps to relax me. I love like listening to a good book, reading a good book, watching television, not necessarily movies. I like to be immersed in a world, and that's kind of where that's where I live. Like I love that. That's how I relax.
So then it's when we see people make it, sometimes you assume that the people, never have to worry again, or they feel like, oh, I've made it. But clearly it seems like you are always evolving.
I am, but it just comes from desire to want to keep learning and want to see what else I can do to try to do more. So that's just kind of been, I think that's a part of me.
All right, lightning round, last thing. You ready? Rapid fire. Favorite character you've ever written?
Favorite character I've ever written is baby voice Darius in Awkward Black Girl.
Derek? Darius. Mantra you live by?
Give to the world your best, and the best will come back to you.
Oh, I like that. Guilty pleasure?
Crime documentaries.
Favorite way to unwind?
I mean, drinking.
Have you ever done lavender infused simple syrup?
No.
You just get some fresh lavender and you just boil it and make it a simple syrup and you pour that in the Prosecco.
Ooh, I just learned that for rosemary and didn't think to do it with anything else. So I'm 100% gonna do that.
Lavender.
I love that.
Lavender, you're welcome. The TV character you're most like?
Khadijah from Living Single.
Oh, Khadijah, I haven't heard that in a while. TV character you most want to be like?
Denise from Cosby Show. Yeah, I dress like. Denise was kind of aloof.
Oh,
but
okay.
I want Denise's fashion. Who I want to be like? I would say like Maxine from Living Single.
Maxine. Living Single was...
It was monumental.
Yeah. I was like, oh, I want to live. I didn't know that existed. Like you could live single on your own. Don't let me get started. Okay. Texting or talking?
Texting. No, talking in person. I'm sorry. Talking
in person. Last, four more. Who inspires you the most?
Debbie Allen.
Oh, yeah. I was able to tell her how much I loved her the other day.
She's incredible.
She's everything. Best hype music?
Little Scrappy, No Problem.
Haha. Favorite food?
Gumbo and Chebujan.
Oh. Favorite drink?
Prosecco.
Place you
Prosecco with vodka.
Cheers. Place you do your best thinking?
In the shower.
Last three. Word to live by for 2021?
Tomorrow's a better day.
Ooh, amen. Thing you're most looking forward to post-pandemic?
I cannot wait to throw a lit ass house party. Cannot wait.
House parties. Remember those?
Yes.
The last question. What's the one question you never get asked that you wish someone would ask you?
Do you want to get some food on me?
What?
I just wish people would ask that more.
Like, do you want to say the question again?
Do you want to get some food on me?
Oh, like on me.
Like
I'll pay for it.
I mean, the other way works too. I could have said that better. It needed some commas.
Well, because you remember the Sex and the City episode with Samantha and the sushi? I don't know.
Yes. Wasn't that in the movie? When she was
maybe. No, you're right. It was a movie. No, you're right. It was in the movie. And so I was like, is that a scene? Like, are you trying?
I mean, it could be. I'm not mad at that either. If the food is free.
If the food is free. Thank you so much. I hope I talk to you again. Like you were so good.
I hope I see you in person again. And thank you so much for this interview.
Thank you. God bless.
Welcome to Today All Day.
All day?
Today, all day.
All day. This is a long way of asking who's your favorite character you've ever played?
The unicorn. The unicorn. You gotta have the unicorn.
What is she right there? That's why you're saying all these nice things?
Yeah, you gave me the look. Sorry to disturb your day. Everyone's mad at you, Willie.
Better make this fast. I don't want the wrath of Luna.
When I see you, I always think, I wonder what his quote would be.
Give us 6 minutes and we'll ask as many questions as we can.
Welcome to Cold Cuts. Cold Cut. Cold Cut.
My buddy Cal cooking with me.
Dads don't babysit. It's called parenting.
What was the first book you remember loving?
Heart Smart Today, with simple exercises to strengthen your heart.
Make the most of your beach days.
It's all about the tracksuit now. How good do they look?
I now pronounce you husband and wife. Kiss the bride.
This morning, a story of people helping people.
You've received tons of letters from people who have been inspired.
Let's do the weather out. Okay. All you gotta do is say, it's cold, it's warm, it's raining, it's snowing. That's it.
One of our most favorite franchises ever, Ambush Makeovers.
Okay?
Look at it. It doesn't look so good.
No, it doesn't look good.
Will you judge us in a cook-off?
I
then?
will, and you
Okay.
guys will definitely win something.
Today, all day.
All day?
All day.
Welcome to Today All Day.
Live from Studio 1A in Rockefeller Plaza, this is the third hour of Today.
Good morning.